Jadi kah?
Jadi ini gue baru mulai.
Udah 68 bro.
Parah bro. Sadis juga bro mereka bro.
Asli bro.
Oh, let's go.
Gue agak sedikit nekat ini cok.
Hati bro, gue gak ngomong apa-apa bro.
The takedown kan Vin?
Apaan?
Kalau misalnya ini.
Ya nggak tahu, jangan diomongin dah bro.
Oke bro.
Bro hilang.
Aduh, oke bro. Halo semuanya. Kita watch party. Oi.
Pamit dulu teman-teman, thank you.
Biar nggak delay.
Oke.
And it's down to Benkai to see if he can grab somebody. Here comes Devi, super quick behind, didn't check the back of the box.
30 seconds
Kenapa nggak versi Indo? Karena di Twitch gak delay guys. Kalau di YouTube delay. Streaming gue udah delay, kalau gue delayin lagi makin delay. Oke, 68 anjing. Edward Gaming gokil juga.
Ini tuh yang Cina kan, Edward Gaming tuh kan?
Iya, Edward Gaming tim Cina.
Baru pertama kali dia ikutan internasional ini kan?
Iya, langsung clean sheet anjir. Wah, 4 second miss. Wah, anjing 87.
Anjir. Jago gila.
Anjir, jago banget.
Oh ini kalau sampai menang GG banget nih EDG. Ini Edward Gaming bener kan?
Iya, Edward Gaming. Tadi sempat 5-0, PRX kalah terus comeback. Iya, tadi gue dikabarin.
5-0 anjir.
Awal-awal 5-0 bro. Gila di wallbang kayak gitu anjing.
Tadi ada taunting Vin.
Siapa taunting?
Si Second taunting.
Taunting apa tim?
Mentality breakdown ada anjing.
Anjing per second. Jason Goblos.
Ya, iya udah deh.
EDG waktu LQC menang terus tanpa kalah. Iya makanya. Kita lihat apakah Forsaken bisa mengendap-endap di situ. Wah, ketahuan Jason. Davai kenapa jadi Kang Beca gitu anjing pakai handuk?
Nanti lagi gue. Weh kacau udah berangkat nih, kacau nih.
Kacau udah di Istanbul bro.
Udah sampai emang belum kali?
Belum. PRX itu bukan tim Indo, tim Singapura, tapi dia ada 2 orang Indo, si si Mind Freak sama si Forsaken.
It forces Benkai to play towards mid doors, and now Jing's got some control over mid. Benkai can rotate back. EDG have an opportunity here to commit to B, but they've got to be quick now.
Yeah, they have to be fast.
30 seconds
Information
left.
is already gathered prior. That's from Mind Freak. Nice sees over the top. That's onto just one of the players. Almost trying to go for this plan. Benkai. Oh, the angle is there. Wants to take
Aimingnya serem banget ya Edward Gaming ya.
in his hands.
Ini kayaknya champion curse dah anjing.
There has to be a player watching this angle now.
Oh nice Jing, nice Jing, nice Jing.
Enough to find the kill though, and an aid.
Oh, no Jing. Aduh.
He got the kill.
He just assumed he had it.
Nete.
Oh nice.
Oh, what a kill from Smoke.
Nice kill banget itu anjing.
To deny the Sage wall as well.
Dari EDG. Kita lihat Mind Freak.
17
Mind Freak.
No shot. He managed
17
to pull off
HP.
another clutch like he did
Kalau
in
lu
the first
menang
round.
sih, lu orang gila lu. Ketahuan deh.
Kalau lu menang lu goks.
Ketahuan deh. Oh no time.
Serving.
Ini yang planting. Oh yang planting PRX ya. Sorry EDG ya, yang planting ya.
EDG.
Okay.
And I gotta say, I think this is a beautiful time to highlight it, Josh. Here, Edward Gaming. It's the first time on the international stage. They're also playing with a sub.
Jangan lupa pelajarin bang, biar kalau rank nggak pusing. Apa pusing apa?
Nggak bisa.
Ini cara main pro player guys.
That is spectacular.
Lu pakai tips-and-trick pro player buat di public susah bro.
Nggak akan bisa. Masalahnya
Mereka koms 5-5-nya udah sinkron.
ya mereka udah tahu apa yang harus dilakukan, udah tahu.
Yang harus dipelajarin tuh line up-nya bukan gameplaynya.
Iya, line up sama tempat 4.
Bukan perbedaannya tuh kalau tim sama kita stack 5 tuh bedanya jauh banget. Soalnya kalau yang tim itu dia nggak perlu diomongin lagi, udah tahu. Kalau kita kan harus ngomong.
Gila, aimingnya EDG ngeri banget anjing. 36. Lead. Aduh. Nice. Enggak, itu keputusan benar. Dia tahu low soalnya. Nice. Davai, nice. Davai kalau udah pakai headhunter ngeri, bos. Jangan lupa klaim hadiah di Twitch. Baru nonton gue, guys.
Emang ada hadiah apa?
Twitch drop.
If you just wait for EDG to commit to a site though, one of these bodies at least is going to open up.
You are divided.
Interesting wall.
Yeah, just cuts to
Wallnya buat nyelamatin bom doang ini.
Just wants to play quietly here.
Yeah,
just
yo.
chill, play off the back of your
Nice banget. Nice banget anjing trade kill-nya. Apa? Oh, nice banget.
Nice Iko.
Nasi koron. Mereka timingnya bagus banget. Dukung PRX, iyalah. Bro,
Suara ini PRX.
APAC Pride bro, masa gue dukung Cina tiba-tiba bro? Asia Pasifik lah.
Kangkang's got the most kills in the server at the moment at 16, and Jing is so unafraid.
Ini si
Of course,
apa?
because he's Jing.
Lu denger tuh
Siapa yang teriak? Itu siapa yang teriak anjing?
That is what you love to see.
Itu siapa yang teriak?
Si siapa lagi kalau bukan 4 second?
What a joy it must be to be back on the biggest stage.
Si 4 second tadi ngetaunting gara-gara ada player EDG yang ini teriak.
Oh.
Mentality breakdown, makanya dibalikin sama dia pas menang.
PaperX as well.
Belum tahu sih gimana keadaannya. Masih seru ini.
Seru, ini Edward Gaming orang kan bilang dibantai ini sengit anjir.
Now they are in.
Ini mapnya EDG.
Ya, ini picknya EDG ya. Komentatornya bilang Jing so spectacular. Cina itu tim dari region mana? East Asia, EA. Gila lu lihat tuh ZMJJ kakak Sentinel anjing. Tapi attacking loh.
Gak ada duelist mereka sebelah.
Iya. Gila.
Metanya ngeri banget loh Cina ini.
Metanya ngeri-ngeri sekarang.
Meta sendiri anjir, mereka nggak peduli, mereka buat meta sendiri.
Mereka tuh selalu metanya tuh sendiri-sendiri. RX juga meta sendiri-sendiri. Dia ada yang pakai dua duelis apa segala macam. Seru ini seru.
Sebenarnya ini udah agent andalan mereka masing-masing sih, Bengkai, Fate, Mindfreaks. Nice banget. Tawan. Amar.
Get that one in a highlight reel
Ini jangan kena Iko lagi,
immediately.
sumpah.
I think Jing's been on TikTok.
Yeah, I am speechless at that one.
Jinx has been on
Kind of
TikTok.
preparation, obviously, that you can come into a map like this with when you are PaperX. Had all the time in the
Ini
world.
high expectation semua orang ke PaperX nih kalau sampai mereka kalah sih. Mental sih.
Benkai did say at the end of Copenhagen, we're always going to keep it fresh. We're still going to be playing aggressive.
Nice banget anjing.
That was a paper.
Satu hit. Nice banget Jing. Nice. Nice. Red kit. Nice.
Nobody as well.
Nice trade. Clean banget anjing.
Jing had a bit of a slow start to the map, but now he's really fired up.
Dapat tuh.
It's so important, I think, when you're playing against.
Battle dong, masa
You have to keep up the confidence.
Iya dimainin buat di pisau, iya.
Pisau nih.
Messing with him for the
Enggak,
divide
kayaknya nggak
flag.
dipisah.
These are not players you really want to be messing with either. Eventually shut down, but
Pisau ya malah mati ya.
in spades.
Gak di pisau sih.
Ngeri banget.
Ngeri banget.
But this is the lead that we were talking about.
Show me that replay and
Player
try it in
info
your
yang
own
mana?
ranked games.
Player info yang mana maksudnya apa?
What a gorgeous angle.
Oh.
And it was off just the slight trigger there
Gila,
of the trade.
itu
I'll tell you what, if that is
Satisfying
a
banget.
heavy hit, you could
Itu
easily get
dianggap bug nggak itu?
Oh, yeah.
Dianggap
With a setup like
out
Enggak.
of nggak itu?
and it
Enggak,
makes the
enggak.
Viper wall.
Nih lu lihat nih.
It kind of
Anjing, Jason anjing.
Dari tadi Vin.
Jason sih,
Jason nggak santai banget ya orangnya ya.
Choosing not to commit.
Jason ngebaiting terus anjir.
Looks like a faster play though. That's gonna be no command and that nightfall. Scatters through. Get a one tag, of course.
Emang main mental sih guys. Selama nggak BM nggak apa-apa.
Ya ampun.
One after the other. Benkai.
Ini operatornya ngeselin anjing pindahnya.
Oh, berat ini.
Itu loh.
Dapat tuh. Oh, anjing sayang banget.
Tenang, masih bisa 3 lawan 2 yuk.
Kena tuh. Aduh, depan-depanan anjing. Tinggal nembak tuh. Dar.
Sayang, nice try.
Gila.
With a vandal inside the Viper's
Gila.
pit.
Gila jago banget anjing.
Every shot magnetic onto the head from Chichu there. And that, I think, just showcases how strong the ult is too. Doesn't matter if Chichu's in the
Gila 10 HP and living the dream nih si Ciku jing.
One bullet, I think, was all that he had.
Ini Email nonton juga nih Mel.
But that is
Enggak
the
bang,
final
kebetulan
bullet in the
saya lagi
clip.
bayar
Again,
utang bang.
magnetically finds the head of
Oh,
Chichu
utang yang nggak akan kelar itu.
in this game.
Iya anjir, gue start 300 and stream
Kang opens it up
313.
and Chichu puts it to bed right now.
Keren.
Oh,
smoke-nya kayak gitu di Pearl. Oke. Jadi dia
Sniper kelihatan, Vin.
Apa?
EDG don't want to go to
Lu kalau mau ngelempar kemananya di map lu.
bukan wallnya. Iya.
Oh, wall.
Bukan yang smoke bomb ya. Wall nih,
Love
smoke
this
wall.
Viper smoke as well.
Tapi itu posisinya si EDG bagus aja loh.
Used in combo.
Udah mulai kah?
Udah.
And if
Itu
you use the
udah
trademark on
10-9.
Belong,
itu oke sih B-nya ya, nutup cover dari semua akses itu.
Nice trade.
Nice, Davai. Headshot nih. Nice.
Nice man freak.
Nice.
And those are the kind of fights that EDG winning in their online games where they just force the battle. But
Hautong.
PaperX good enough to punish them for it. And now
Oh, ini
PaperX have infiltrated
China ya?
every
China.
Iya.
Boom kapan main? Besok guys, lawan Optik
all
itu juga
the
seru
way
tuh.
into the attacker's spawn.
Buat partai lagi.
Oh nggak plan?
But that's the way that
Belum, masih
EDG
nyari
like
info,
it.
nyari info.
They thrive in the chaos.
Yang kayak gini nih, gue paling males tau gak, kena timing nih.
Hadong has a timing. Hadong has a timing to be able to get this plant down.
Baru
And
planting.
Smoggy could have tried to go
Ya kan?
aggressive.
Ini udah ngendok nih di atas dia. Doi.
Udah, mereka soalnya stack A semua itu.
Smoggy's got a great idea here.
Ini ulti siapa? Ulti EDG ya? Nice. Nice.
Astra ulti.
Udah ketahuan semua itu. Davai bisa bokongin. Nice. Nice. Salah nih.
Dia nongol mati sih, bro.
GG. Nice one main freak. Gila, pentakill bro.
Ngeri.
I had
Gila,
questions about
gila.
Mindfreak.
Babang Aaron jago banget, Babang Aaron.
Mindfreak had poor performances at the global level for every LAN that he'd been to before Copenhagen. And then he turned up and he was talking about how much more
Trade kill-nya bagus banget nih si
seriously he was
Mindfreak nih.
taking his
Gila.
Valorant performance. And I don't think it was a one-off. I think Mindfreak's incredible play towards
gila pala
Copenhagen
semua bos.
seems to be replicating itself again in
Lu
this
lihat
map.
Crosshair-nya.
He's kept up that pace
Ngeri banget,
magnificently.
anjing, game
The
sense
4K
mereka,
in that
Cok.
round, the ult to clutch things as well.
Aduh.
And PaperX
Kok penta kuadra ya? Oh iya kuadra guys. Sorry deh. Kalah kalian.
they're able to put away this anti-eco.
Oh,
Flashnya bagus banget.
Nice.
Dapat 2.
nice trade. Balik, jangan greedy, Bengkai anjing. Anjing nggak, aduh, greedy sih dia. Bisa nih, dah Fai. Ayo Fai.
Ayo pai.
The PaperX players are
Let's go.
flying
Buruan Fai.
Ayo anjing.
Aduh, gemes banget gue liatnya.
Fai maju, jangan kayak pusi.
Maju.
Oh, 4 second nget. Oh, ayo. Ini juga nih. Ketahuan. Maju. Fai, maju Fai. Oh, anjir flicknya. Davai.
seconds here. What an important round as
Ah,
well.
nge-whiff dong.
Blowing map point.
It's EDG with a thrifty conversion off the back of Chichu clutching once more.
Gila.
Chichu is so comfortable in these clutch positions.
Anjir, sayang banget anjir.
He baited out a swing from
Dia awalnya nggak lihat ya.
and just
Nggak
got
lihat.
Nggak lihat ya.
moment to throw him off.
Woi,
Santai
Nggak
dong,
nyantai
woi.
gitu, bos.
woi, relax dong.
Get it, my
Relax
son.
dong Bang Edward.
Hilang bang.
Why
Hati
not?
IG hilang bang.
Buset Bang Edward.
Finals to Copenhagen.
Ampun Bang Edward. Buset.
Tadi siapa? Ingetin namanya, nicknya ingetin siapa itu nicknya, woi.
Yang gundul ingetin nicknya.
Itu si ZMMJJ kakak.
Oh ya udah sorry deh, dia jago soalnya.
Buset, sampai berdiri itu banting komputer habis itu. Habis ini kayaknya nice one. Habis ini salto nih Jason. Jason salto nih. Jason salto dulu lihat habis ini nih.
These smokes are causing a lot of issues for them. Another one popped up just to see. There's a gun in play. That's going to be picked up, but now they know the positioning.
Nice.
Works his way around. That's Jing again.
Oh, dikit lagi.
Some mischief in the
Nice.
right. Nobody sprays
1v1,
him. That's
Dafai.
4 kills.
Dafai.
For him now, 18
Dia lead
bullets
Dafai.
in the clip. Position going to be revealed. This is a wall-bangable angle.
The hole didn't reach.
It didn't, but he's still slightly. Watchful device should be
Dia low ini.
favored. 125 health.
Oh, itu Kangkang, sorry, itu Kangkang katanya. Tahu Kangkang yang mana?
Bukan masalah low atau enggak, ini Vandal tetap satu hit kena pala dead anjing.
Dari ayo Jason, salto Jason, salto dong, ya, nggak dikasih lihat anjing, lagi salto Jason padahal.
Bentar lagi dikasih lihat.
12-10 the lead here.
Oh nih.
And the fast play, this is one of the first rounds where we've seen EDG go for a fast play.
Oh gila, ngeri banget sih ini baru.
Hampir es loh.
Nobody did a great job of being able to
Enggak.
Bengkai berdiri.
reinforcing those B-side anchors.
Oh ya bener, Kangkang ZMJJK. Bener. Bengkai balik berdiri guys.
Bengkai emosi, belum tahu loh dia. Jadi Pinky Boy.
It's counterplay as well. It is a fake. There's not too many players. Bit of whiffage in play
God,
at the end of the day. It's Edward Gaming who are coming out on top. But now they have to deal with this one. Benkai. Oh
nice
my
banget.
goodness. They just
ketahuan.
about CME for his
Nice Saron. Dapat nice angle. Dapat setengah.
real scenes before.
Di push.
But gonna be leaving him. You can have a
Oh, tinggal 1v3 dia. Aduh, jangan overtime anjing.
To cut off the rotate.
They're gonna be
Di sini
here.
miskin
But what
lagi
happens
si
in a 1v3
ininya.
is that Mindfreak is
PRX.
actually given this opportunity
Iya.
to
Ketemu nih.
make it a 1v2.
Enggak, udah juga masuk.
Udah ditungguin
Kanan,
itu.
kanan.
Udah ditungguin.
Iya, udah ditungguin.
Doesn't even think about it and Chichu's
Dia nggak nengok kanan nih, yakin banget ya.
11-12, one away from overtime. And what a bizarre round that was, Brent. And it knocks the PaperX economy back down onto a rough 5. Look at how this one played out. They faked the Nightfall into A. Counter Nightfall comes out as well. And PaperX decide to push into
4 second sama Mindfreak player Indo. Iya.
Player
Indo.
And instead,
Oh enggak, Kangkang
everyone
langsung
from
kalem,
EDG
Vin.
is
Kangkang
ready
langsung kalem.
to collect
Takut
the
dia
clutch.
takut.
Enggak, abis ini kalau menang lagi salto dia.
EDG have in this final round.
Kan overtime.
Big ultimates online, huge economic advantage. This should be an
Ayo,
OT
kan I
map.
believe.
It really should.
Nih Kangkang nih. Si botak.
Expectations out the
Dia
window.
kayak abis ini udah wajib militer gitu loh si
The map
Kangkang nih.
might be going. Not many people I think would have predicted Pearl as our opener.
Gila itunya bagus banget.
Enzi mah. Enzi udah kalah guys, Sentinel nggak masuk.
Sort of force gonna be unleashed.
To the pros.
Tuh lihat gak sih personilnya EDG 3 orang cepak sama semua style rambutnya anjing.
Habis ini kali deh, jangan.
Jangan-jangan dia kembar 3.
Waduh.
Bukan habis
bukan.
famil.
Iya abis mamil kayaknya.
Telling the rest of his team to fake with the
Sentinel
horns
tuh
over
masih
towards
kutukan
B and
champion,
actually
guys.
bring their players back. Look at how aggressive.
Aduh, ngeri banget Mindfreak.
Aduh.
They're aware though.
Ada trapnya Cem.
Absolutely
Ayo bisa nih.
everything here.
Dar! Nice trade. Nice trade. Oh, awas Bengkai.
Exchange of weapons as well onto the
Nice,
ground.
dapat.
Ketemu lawan.
Dapat. Ya mantul.
There with the C's, but at the end of the day, they do have that positioning, and time is running so
450,
low now.
let's go.
Down to 40 seconds.
And look how PaperX go from being extremely aggressive up in mid to abandoning it completely. They can play with the
Cornernya
time, with the
dicek
player
bener ya sama
advantage.
mereka ya.
EDG, you have to worry
Mereka
about
selalu
all
cek
these spots.
corner.
They had everything
Itu
to bring
kewajiban.
this to OT.
Bagus banget rekonnya kayak gitu anjing.
It looks like it's slipping away
Anjing.
from them.
It's turned on its head, it feels like, but with the
Oh, mereka mau main angle. Oh,
tap of the spike, but time is running.
Oh,
so
nice,
low.
Jason.
Taking that tour de force from earlier.
That's
Well,
the
it's
spike
fine,
drop,
Andy.
spike drop.
Spike dropped outside
Spike.
of the pit. You can pick it up, you can try and find it, but you position it. It is known absolutely everywhere, and there is not enough time on the clock. You have secured
Let's go! Oh my god! Bengkai panas.
Bete anjir bisa masuk ke dalam itu sendiri
Bengkai
anjir.
panas.
But I
Let's
gotta say, this was a
go.
smart pick from EDG. We'll only tell as the tournament goes on whether it's them that are good
Let's
on the map or the Paper X
go.
maybe, you know, aren't as comfortable.
Nyangkut
but
dia, guys,
I
di
was
wall
not
SH.
expecting map 1 to be this close between these two teams. I think Paper X have showcased that they have the talent and the awareness,
Good job,
the
good
strategy
job. Well played,
to be
well
able
played,
to
well
contend with some of our best teams. If
Habis
they
ini
keep that
mapiknya
over the course of the
PRX
series,
di mana?
it's
Fine
still
nih.
winnable.
Belum-
Listen,
belum
even if
lihat.
they lose, I think
Xbox,
that this has
Oh,
been a
Xbox.
spectacular opening show.
Habis itu baru Heaven.
I mean, when you consider the circumstances, not
They're playing
playing
with a
live,
sub.
Akhirnya ya, Heaven ada yang make ya.
still bringing it to the distance almost.
Siap.
How
Ya.
different they could
Siap,
have
siap,
maybe
Bang.
been.
Absolutely.
Paper X got the right
Gila,
position
Haltung.
perhaps.
Libat
Some
itu.
awesome moments from the EDG players, but Paper X leaning on that experience, leaning on
Waduh, gila.
Bisa gitu anjir main freak.
Gila.
on a brand new
Anjay.
Go to this.
Sulit emang kalau ada mental-mental
Champs.
bocil-bocil Asia ini.
map for both teams.
Ini anjing banget sih yang ini.
Lihat tuh. Gila.
Ngeri banget.
Both chambers
Jadi kakek Kang Bajai gitu dah gitu.
on either
Buset
side
tuh
as well.
headsetnya ada apa tuh?
What a way to open up champions.
Gila.
That map was a delight.
Yes.
Gila, ada Vin Diesel tuh.
Anjing.
Goblok banget lu.
Oh bukan ya? Oh sorry.
Apa ini salah kan barusan.
Ada Vin Diesel sama The Rock.
Gue pikir
Go
Vin
to a
Diesel
short
tuh.
break on the other side of things, of course. Our analysts desk
Bukan,
take
ini
it down and break it
Edgar
down all the
Guerrero.
action and get us set up that
Buset.
map number 2, so don't go anywhere.
Gila. Yang nonton 134.000 guys. Anjay.
Tendangannya pada lagi nobar itu.
Siapa?
Ini player-player luar pada nobar juga itu.
Ini Tarik, Tenzi, Shroud, nobar semua.
Udah pasti nggak sih, udah pasti.
Gue capek banget nonton si Jonas tuh,
Tarik tuh jadi jadi apa sih
Streamer, content creator Sentinel.
konten kreator dia.
Kenapa sih Jonas?
Guys, itu nge-gimmick mulu, capek banget gue kalau nonton.
Siapa Fred Jonas?
Iya.
Jonas bukannya ini apa jago?
Iya jago, cuman digimikin sama dia kadang.
Oh, keren. Halo Samsul. Lo watch party hari ini doang atau lanjut terus? Lanjut terus selama gue sempet. Kalau gue sempet gue, tapi nggak tiap hari ya guys ya. Mungkin besok gue usahain lah, karena besok Boom lawan Optik kan, seru tuh. Indonesia ada tim yang wakilin nggak? Boom e-sport tim Indo guys.
Boom.
Aku beli membership kok nggak ada ya? Hah? Yang bener Samsul. Udah kepotong saldonya. Kalau nggak masuk ke membership nanti di refund sih sama YouTube biasanya Sul. Error sama suka gitu Sul. Kirain sampai 200.000 ternyata segitu doang, kalah sama EVOS RRQ. Apa view-nya? Ya bro, marketnya game mobile sama game Valo beda bro. Tapi price pool-nya dong bro. Halo?
Enggak dong, itu kan kebagi ya. Di Valorant, di Shroud, di siapa.
Iya.
Di Tensi. Kebagi.
Ya lu nggak bisa ngomong lah kalau ngomongin gitu susah Vin.
Nggak, yang penting price pool-nya bro. Mobile Legends berapa bro? Buset.
Gue nggak tahu.
Pakai pulsa, iya error kayaknya so. Ntar bisa di refund kok dari YouTube nih.
Buset.
Wih, dapat spray kalau nonton apa nih? Sabtu September 16.
Nah, kalau ngomongin game mobile ya beda jauh ya.
Gak bisa bandingin game mobile sama ini. Ya sesepi-sepinya Dota juga price poolnya ngeri banget.
Pasti balik kok,
Bisa
Sul,
beli-
tenang aja,
bisa
pasti
beli
di
pulau.
refund
Bisa
kalau
beli
error.
pulau, bro.
Tapi mungkin 2-3 hari. ML 100 triliun. Oke deh, sorry deh. Kalah gue kalau ML 100 triliun mah.
Ya sorry banget deh.
Sorry deh.
Waduh, ampun deh.
Sorry deh kalau ML 100 triliun. Sorry ya bocil-bocil ML ya. Emang turnamen ML tuh gak ada yang bisa ngalahin deh, kalian terbaik. Oke.
Betul. Makanya beli PC coba.
Iya, makanya gua nggak mampu main ML. Gua kasta gua Valorant doang, sorry ya.
Sorry banget deh.
Sorry banget.
Makanya beli PC coba deh.
Gue nggak ikut-ikut sih.
Gak, emang kenyataannya begitu, Jok.
Karena gitu, bocil-bocil ML tuh merasa turnamen mereka tuh paling gede anjing, kayak paling terbaik gitu. Goblok deh.
Tuh.
Iya, cuman kan makanya gue bilang segede-gedenya yang itu tuh Dota masih lebih kecil berarti ya.
Ya,
Iya.
Dota nggak ada apa-apanya walaupun bisa beli pulau prize pool juara satunya.
Udah gila lu.
Nggak ada
Gak
apa-apanya.
terima
Bro.
nih gue Dota dikatain nih.
Ih,
Udah lu.
Mengaku main Mobile
Mel,
Legends pakai PC
Mel.
emulator.
Salam, kita Mel, kita Mel.
Kamu tim mana,
Wah,
Samsul?
itu.
Yeah, it was
Langsung
incredible
nge-mute dia,
the whole
anjing.
drive. We saw, Brennan Sideshow freaking out. We were freaking out on the desk when we had Jing do the double satchel over the top, get the rocket hit on the, that.
Kalian nggak tahu kan kalau Adia Dota bisa beli pulau?
Right, and those are the kinds of things
Buset.
wanting to see those
Itu yang juara satu tahun 2020 apa 2019 sih?
time on a new map, and there was
Yang sekarang juga sama gedenya, Vin.
Yang sekarang juga sama.
Oh,
Vin.
makin gede ya malah ya?
Makin tinggi, makin naik terus.
Makin naik.
Gila ya. Cuma dari Battle Pass doang kan itu?
Iya.
Sini.
Lu nggak tahu Sultan Arab.
Iyalah Dota gila lu bro.
Lu nggak tahu Sultan Arab.
Lu diem deh, lu diem deh.
Sultan Arab kalau beli
Bro,
levelnya udah
Dota,
sampai
bro.
50.000 anjir nggak jelas banget.
Tapi ini juga Valorant dari beli skin, ternyata price pool ya. Dari
Iya.
payment semua purchase
Tapi
skin.
gak ada yang ngalahin Battle Pass bro.
Itu udah berapa
Oke,
lama
sorry,
game ya? Udah berapa lama game ya?
Sorry.
Udah berapa lama game ya?
Maaf.
Maaf,
Bandingin
aku
game tua
nih
sama
ada
game baru.
agreement nih sama Riot, aku harus membela Riot nih, sorry banget nih ya.
Iya, sorry
Aku
banget.
juga
ya.
aku bela Riot.
Iya, Riot, tolong dong Riot.
Nggak bohong-bohong. Email jangan.
Riot jangan diajak kerja sama Imelda ya. Jangan ajak kerja sama Imelda.
Udah pernah.
Oke.
Sudah
tolong.
pernah.
Oke, Riot tolong ya, Riot. Riot
Besok
tolong
aja.
ya. Besok aja sama pengen nonton
Besok ya.
juga boom nih.
Riot saya
Boleh nggak?
sudah free, saya bisa
Ya,
lagi.
lu harus salah tangan anjir ke itu.
Riot mau dong, mau nonton boom nih Riot, boleh nggak?
Buat besok aja Riot.
I want you in my room nggak Bum ya?
Waduh.
Boom. I want you
Pin
in
boom
my room.
gogogoy main nggak? Main. Gogogoy besok main guys. Boom gogogoy. Tapi dia divisi COD, beda game.
Iya, Gaben nyediain $1 juta buat Dota.
Untuk teman-temanku yuk, kita jangan bahas turnamen lain ya, teman-temanku ya.
Oh iya, sorry.
Iya.
Tahu
Oh, iya,
parah
sorry,
banget
sorry,
sih lu.
sorry.
Iya, ayo Riot
Tapi-
tolong dong besok satu hari aja.
I love Riot.
Tapi Riot juga gede sih adanya. Saya suka.
Iya.
Belokannya bagus.
Karena bagus.
Belokannya bagus.
Lu pas event launching yang
Diam lu.
filmnya Riot lu gak ikut ya, Vin?
Apa Arkane?
Iya, ikut tuh.
Enggak, kan gue baru
Itu
partner
keren
sama
banget.
Riot sekarang.
Oh.
Tolong
Lu
ya
waktu
Riot.
itu ikut yang eventnya Arkane.
Iya gue tahu yang di Nobar itu ya.
Iya, nobar ada Hone anjir keren banget.
Ji, ini kenceng juga ya ini orang. Anjing.
Iya.
Ini si botak ini bacot tapi ada skillnya. Makanya tauntingnya seru.
Iya, kenceng tapi kenceng dia.
Oh, gila main prick gokil, main prick triple kill berderet anjing. Blub gaming nih. Woohoo.
Asik. Hey.
Berdiri. Anjing emang.
Keisha Medina
Tapi
Syakwila
emang
welcome to
serius gitu,
Definition
kalau di
Silver.
Stage turnamen gitu kan itu wah
Harus tahu
euforianya
sih emang sih.
beda banget kalau lu nggak kayak gitu.
Iya
Gua
emang.
ngerasain PBNC itu.
Emang itu adrenalin, Jo, kalau udah kayak gitu.
Waduh.
Wih, siap.
Waduh, Pon.
Siap.
Udah gila belum Pon.
Sponsored banget nih. Mantap. Scan for 4 second crosshair tuh. Siapa tahu jadi 4 second.
Oke, bentar ya.
Tanya dong, itu sampai begitu banget? Buset.
Anjing.
Gila ya. Akurasinya tapi 85%, Bro. Wah, miss. Nervous.
Tapi poinnya sih brengsek.
Apa aja, waktunya segitu. Gitu.
Eh.
Kalau kita waktunya
Poin gue di bawah 10.000, Bro. Poin gue di bawah 10.000 pasti, Bro. Maulana, welcome back to Definition Silver. Anjay. 247-22. Wih, anjir. Match MVP-nya si botak loh.
Iya.
247, gila gede banget. First blood dia 33%, cu. Kong Kong entry fragger banget.
Seru jir gue liat Valorant. Wih, emang Valorant tuh game paling seru, bro.
Jangan salah.
Tahu sih, lu coba deh ke warnet main, bro. Nah, gimana ngejilatnya, Vin?
Mantap. Bagus.
Cuman jangan pernah main Valorant di atas jam 3 subuh, bro.
Kenapa?
Anjing, gue lempar mouse, Vin.
Bisa gue main jam 3 subuh sih. Pasti lo lawan gue, lo kalah kan? Gila.
Kagak.
Ani, welcome back to the finishing server.
Lu bayangin aja di shotgun di samping kuping.
Tuh. Habis ini Icebox.
Iya, desain dulu
Oh
nih.
iya.
Di sini Heaven. Ini BO3 ya guys, buat kalian yang wonder ini BO berapa? BO3.
He's been going for a bit more of that kind of hyperflex role, playing smokes, playing fade, etc. I'd be really curious to see if he does go for the jet, because it's also in the wheelhouse of Kong Kong. So maybe they can have him take over the chamber position and ship Kong Kong to a duelist.
Mana ada anjing? Gak pernah seumur-umur orang yang ngadain watch party dapat kursi itu gak pernah.
Gak ada ya?
Gak pernah.
Ada, Dota waktu itu ngasih, Vin. Tapi kan siapa tahu Riot juga mau ngasih.
Bener-bener nih anak satu nih. Gue gaplok lu ya.
And so far everything it looks like Smoggy's just gonna step in right into that jet position like we expected.
Yeah, it's looking bog standard for both these squads. A lot of teams, particularly in NA, have started to skor di atas doang anjir. Emang.
Abis paper rack siapa guys? Ini.
TL.
Nih. Leviathan lawan tim Liquid.
Ini, Ben Karena. Buset.
Ben Karena, Forsaken Jet, Jing, udah, Battle Sage, udah ini mah. Udah. Tukeran nih. Tapi Mindfreak emang selalu smoker ya?
Dia makanya omen gitu kan biasanya.
Dia selalu controller dia.
Brim.
Itu bukan Reyna, itu Fate. Hah? Emang itu?
Hilang akun IG. Lah, IG gue udah hilang, Cok.
Reyna itu Fate ya?
Oh iya, itu Fate anjir.
Oh, Fate.
Itu Fate. Iya, kayak Reyna matanya bener.
Upper bracket of this group, which means they'll play the
winner of the bangun tidur bukannya minum air, gue bangun tidur ini, Cok, ngurusin IG, Cok.
You don't want to be in that lower bracket in this group because
every
single one of these teams in this group has potential to be
email lu tuh mesti diganti semuanya passwordnya. Mau pasang tuh faktor authentication jangan lupa.
Udah hilang, udah nggak ada IG-nya.
Lah, kan bisa dibalikin.
Udah nggak ada lagi, Vin.
Oh, kacau. Jadi lu bikin IG baru.
Nggak mau, gue udah capek main.
Capek ya? Iya, udah lah. Ini kan main Valorant kan, Jo?
Bener banget.
Besok bikin turnamen Among Us kali di Valo.
Apaan sih, Mel?
Sorry.
Gimana tuh?
Bisa lah main Among Us di Valorant. Lo gak tau ya?
Enggak lah, Valorant tetep the one
and
only lah.
Valorant iya.
Aduh, gila.
Tapi emang pistol run tadi ini sih yang menang.
EDG ya? Tadi sih.
Smoggy is a pistol demon. He did the same thing in round 1 of Pearl. Ran forwards, got 2 kills, 3 kills in fact on Pearl. Instantly with the Ghost.
At this point, 2 players remaining, left scrambling a little bit, I think. If you are Paper X, you can see Benkai now forced to re-clear out through kitchen. Watching for that.
Ini yang attacking dulu siapa?
He's been compromised for quite some time.
EDG attacking dulu.
Pumping the brakes when they get into a man advantage situation on the attack side.
EDG ini guys, Dark Horse di turnamen champion ini.
Karena dia dari bawah.
Dari bawah dia, Dark Horse ini. Wah, Bengkai.
China tuh gak ada invitation.
Dan dia kalah kan makanya dia masuk LCQ kan. Di Master dia kalah. Di qualifier Master kalah. Mindfreak headshot. Aduh, flicknya
Gila,
For
nggak ada
chip.
yang mau ngepick.
Gak ada lah.
Ada yang mau ngepick.
Maunya ini.
Maunya dia yang nyamperin.
Iya.
Biar dapat kill. Dia nggak mau ngasih kill, nggak mau ngasih duit. Pelit anjing.
Worried about a flank coming through. Kangkang is there, but a long way away.
Wah.
Nobody's
Gila.
shuts down both of those stragglers left alive.
Smoggy in the pistol round again, Josh, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Respect streamer yuk PRX biar match 3. Jangan anjing, udah nggak apa-apa tai. Nggak usah kalah dulu. Udah 2-0 aja. Nggak usah respect streamer.
Jadi pengen kalah gitu.
APAC proud guys.
Because Life is their Jet player. Smoggy hasn't really been playing Jet recently. They don't have the same.
Orang Cina pelit. Nggak gitu dong, kenapa lu jadi bobo stereotip orang Cina lu? Ini namanya emang cara main gamenya kayak gitu, nggak mau kasih duit.
Itu anjing banget.
Lu brengsek juga lu, gue liat lu. Orang Cina emang pelit.
Kills are kills at the end of the day, aren't they?
Cina kan juga APAC. Cina bukan APAC, Cina itu East Asia, Asia Timur.
Dapat satu nih.
Dapat nih. TP-nya gak keburu. Per second. Per second. Kena lagi per second. Wah, kemis. Wes. Nyesel lu. Karma taunting anjing.
Ini lu yang gerakin, Vin.
Bukan lah, email. Gue bukan operator email, gue cuma nonton Twitch.
Head to head.
Jadi kira jadi caster temen gue anjir, orang watch party jadi caster.
Tadi katanya Devin dapat ininya kan, apa aksesnya? Gue pikir maksudnya bisa nge-inin kameranya.
Gue akses boleh bawa nama Valorant, watch party, dan gue dipromot gitu loh.
Iya. Kayak Manson gitu kan?
Ya kayak Manson, betul.
PaperX getting to the finals of Copenhagen.
Lagi Devin mau jadi caster
ya.
Gak deh, skip.
Coba Vin latihan casting, Vin. Coba.
Enggak mau, thank you. Gue udah capek. Capek. Lu tahu capek nggak?
Enggak.
Lu nggak pernah capek ya anaknya?
Enggak dong.
Keren lu. Yaudah sini jadi pembantu di rumah gue deh, mau nggak?
Jangan ditembusin.
Dibayar berapa nih?
Aduh.
Dibayar
tergantung. Lu sampai malam nggak?
Ya tergantung. Dibayar berapa dulu nih?
Iya. Tergantung lu nya dulu sampai malam nggak? Kalau sampai malam mahal men.
Kalau double digit boleh deh, gas. Gue jadi babu apa dah.
Sampai malam ya. Tapi babunya mah jam 7 udah kelar.
Double digit bro.
Iya double digit. Tapi sampai malam nggak, pokoknya sampai gua puas.
Nggak apa-apa, rela.
Gila. Dia nggak ngerti dari tadi gua maksudnya apa loh.
Gak jadi bang.
Aneh banget temen gua mau double digit, udah langsung mau temen gua Jok.
Makanya.
Serem banget Jok.
Emang lagi BU kayaknya.
Unlucky for Mindfreak.
And I love this proactivity. Already taking the back of the side as well, pushing right past their own Viper wall here.
Gila.
And they're being rewarded for it.
Nah ini tuh strategi ini guys. Ngorbanin 5 poin buat tahu strategi musuh dulu. Anjay. Mati deh. Karena ding sih aimingnya jadi berantakan dia.
Tapi duitnya entek nih. PRX.
Mereka buy emang.
Menang ini. Harus menang.
Oh iya mereka buy bener.
Iya menang menurut gua, tapi di band kayak sama Manfrednya
gak apa-apa. Misalnya si EDG-nya juga Iko kan? Oh nggak buy ya? Oh tadi dia Iko ya?
Iya kan bonus round, tadi bonus round.
Oh dia bonus round, oke.
Nah, here's the replay.
13, iya, kalau Valorant 13, bentar. Wis. Aduh, kenapa sih kata dia? Aduh.
Jangan gitu.
Dia habis diomelin masih botak. Itu tuh bisa aiming gak sih?
Smogi sih force by bat tuh.
Smogi siapa Smogi?
Edward siapa
Jetnya musuh.
Oh iya.
Sebelah juga force
Wah, jing. Wah.
Nonton di mana sih, Jok?
Twitch.
And if you were wondering
Wah,
at the
parah
beginning
lu
of
nggak
this game,
support Devin lu.
Forsaken and Jing just gonna run over
Kalau nontonnya di
EDG.
Devin kan
There's a
delay.
round for you that
Delay.
answers the question.
Nonton di Discord.
Taken down
Gua nggak
instantly
support
by their
Discord
Sama aja.
Devin.
Kang and in this
Support
Sama
Discord
Lightspeed.
Devin ya. Oke. Support Discord Devin. Siap.
breaks every time that they get a player advantage. I think there is so many new teams to the global stage.
Lah kok Blade hilang anjing?
Push
Udah sadar gue.
advantage as soon as they get it.
Sebelah
Without
katanya.
taking a
Oh.
moment to breathe.
Not willing to slow it down.
Never willing to slow it down, and that really was a concern for me with EDG.
Ahmad Damian, welcome back to Definition
Like how
Silver.
aggressive their players are.
Yeah, that's how they played.
But I think they're looking good here. They're just making sure
Davai kayak Kang Becak sumpah anjing.
Udah gue bilang kan tadi. Udah kayak Kang Bajai.
Udah kayak kenek supir bus.
Iya.
Padahal Davai itu orang Malaysia kan ya?
Bukan orang Rusia ya?
Lu diem aja deh Mel. Lu bisa diem gak lu?
Beneran anjing, email M-nya mabok.
Nah,
kayaknya emosi.
Nah, si Jok.
I-nya ih capek.
Aduh. I-nya
Yeah, that's the
easy.
impressive part, isn't it? And
Apa
Paper
sih?
X just
Apaan
focused
sih
on this
anjing?
round. Haldong had a lurk play going actually,
Sorry.
up towards
Pai,
the
nanti
top.
Pai.
Ayo Pai, ayo Pai.
Never got an
Pai.
opportunity to
Nice.
go for anyone.
Nice.
Now takes a peek into
Nice,
Divine,
nice,
goes
nice.
down, but
Nice,
that
nice.
same kind of lurk play up through Q could be a possibility.
Terus ketahuan sih itu ya.
Look at how Smoggy just jiggle peeks that and is instantly looking for the player supporting Jing. This showcases to me that they
Nice.
understand.
Tapi
how
gua
the
akuin
teams in the world
aimingnya Edward Gaming crisp banget anjing. Garing banget. Gila.
for a team to forget
Itu di
that there's
LCQ-nya
always gonna
Asia
be
tuh
someone ready to support Jing.
Korea punya
But just
wakil di
noticing that
ebol-ebol
there's
anjir
going
sama
to be a
Edward
trap
Gaming.
there and being aware of
Korea,
where the
siapa?
player's gonna peek from, I think that
Gue lupa
speaks
bentar.
very highly to how
Korea apa
savvy
Jepang?
the rest of EDG are actually thinking
Korea.
about breaking
Finalnya kan
apart
Korea.
these defensive
Oh.
setups. And it's another really good start for EDG.
Aduh, Jing.
Topik.
Nice banget for second anjing. Itu last bullet teh.
Emang the best.
Hah, siapa?
Still A aggression from Paper X, but it's much more
For second 1 HP.
Forsaken dropped down to 1 health.
Nice. Nice mind freak. Nice.
Kata sama dia langsung.
And that was
Dapat tuh mid-nya tuh.
Haldon on the lurk. Last time he went up tube, this time underneath.
Gila, udah kinclong bos.
Smoggy and nobody.
Udah kinclong bos.
Top fragger dia nih.
Skinnya udah ke top fragger bos. Iya, kinclong tiap kali top fragger ya.
It's only Smoggy watching.
Top fragger dari semuanya tapi.
Trying to work off the back of the
Musuh
drum.
sama kita, teman-teman.
But entirely doable, I think. Positioning is known.
Lo kiri mati.
Bottom side of tube here, nobody.
Oh, di push. Woi.
Really gonna wallbanked him.
Wah, dia nggak ngeliat. Dia ditembusin.
What a play.
And nobody has been elite in the online stage, but now mighty task ahead of him. What's left? Just
Kena.
latching onto his
Di tangan
Dikejar.
kananmu.
30 seconds
Ayo,
remaining. Players alone.
Jason. Satu-satu 1 HP dua-duanya anjir.
Both
Iya,
single
aduh.
bullet will do it.
Aduh.
Gak ada yang mau ngepick. Pasti gak ada yang mau ngepick.
A breath onto Benkai and Forsaken would take
Gak
them
mau
down.
double pick barengan.
Nice play.
Beda angle.
Keren banget senjatanya.
Phenomenal game
Top
sense.
fragger lah ya. Gantian nih dia top fragger nih.
Kapan Valorant gak bikin skin bagus?
Anjay.
Here's the
Aduh.
footsteps, 10 seconds remaining.
No
Planting
need
dah.
for a headshot, but delivers it anyway. And he has his ult
Planting
play off, a
dah.
shock dart, a recon dart. Nobody is so intelligent in these situations.
Ya jatuhnya sama-sama 1 HP sih kalau pala.
Right now.
It's down to this. Forsaken versus the newcomer.
Pasti for second kalau ini menang dia teriak, percaya nggak lo? Please, please, timing.
Back to back.
No.
Oh my god! To clutch it through.
Dia lewat bawah.
Kalau dia lewat bawah bisa dipisau. Aduh, oh my god, timing.
Nobody, this is his map. This is his playground.
Ente.
His Sova here is phenomenal. Managing to pick off Jing to start things out. Grabs the kill on Devai as well. And then this masterful clutch. Sure, on 2 players with barely a shred of health, but
Apa konnichiwa?
Oh, konnichiwa, hajime mashite.
the map was second to none.
Gila. Padahal si Edward Gaming udah nggak nengok belakang ya.
Very early in the map. EDG are getting off to hot starts.
Itu sih
And Paper X are forced to
what
adapt.
the fuck
But
moment
they've
masuk
thrown
TikTok nih bentar
What
lagi
the
nih.
fuck
an
moment.
aggressive
Bener.
setup where Jing was hiding in
Kayak
there,
Blur
so
ketawa
they
nih.
ready to peek. They've thrown
cuan
just
gitu.
aggression at them, where Forsaken, Jing, and Divine
Time out langsung, time out. Woi, lu ngapain lihat atas, woi?
EDG have dealt with it. They've had players in positions to absorb the aggression, clear angles, and create advantages for themselves that they're able to clear out.
Such a class so far. I was so excited to see as well. This player
Game 3 is real. Enggak guys. Ini terlalu cepat untuk ngomong game 3. Tenang.
I think this is his opportunity to prove that he is a differentiated player in the world.
Halo Ton.
He's got the game sense that we've been witnessing in this series.
Enggak bang. Udah watch party bang.
He just needs the trophies and the
Masih tak, gue masih main.
Yeah, I completely agree. Nobody has been phenomenal.
Menjoin tak?
So far. He's a star in the making. From a quieter position, obviously.
Tai banget.
But one of the stats that jumped out to me actually about Nobody, out of the
Hasta nggak jawab, dia ngomong apaan sih?
He's in the 7th place for damage per duel. He's outputting huge amounts of damage.
Iya, champions. Yang paling gedenya Ton.
Is fantastic and he takes such smart fights.
TI-nya Valorant.
TI-nya Valorant ya.
a bit of that early aggression.
Kenapa ngomongin TI? Dan TI ngomongnya LOL apa sih? World Championsnya Valorant. Nah.
Bukannya The World ya? Apa sih? The turnamen doang ya? Apa sih? Kalau LOL punya. Nice itu.
Slightly ajar. It's going to be able to find this one, but now the Hunter's Fury to try and supplement it. Pushes it through.
Wah, kena 2. Wah, anjing Hautong. Wah. Gila. LOL World. Iya, The World ya bener ya.
Nobody wants more. Setting up
beliin tim Edward Xtreem dulu. Iya.
Jago siapa?
Dua-duanya jago Ton. Enggak, ini game pertama literally. Pembukaan, opening game. Come on bro. Come on bro.
EDG actually look a little bit uncoordinated in terms of how they're getting the spike down on B.
Hautong gak usah so asik deh. Sorry kok kalian gitu sih sama Hautong. Aduh.
Paper X are being asked some serious questions right now, but with guns back in hands.
Oke, standard wall. Ah, nggak dapat angle nih.
Ditembak sama dia.
They suspect this one, I think. Breaking down portions of the wall. This is
Gila.
He's isolated.
Gila, bos.
He always is.
Gila itu aiming pala dikit hilang, bos.
Straight through mid now into orange.
Shit, itu rame banget midnya.
What can he lock down? Is this angle going to be clear? Draft over the top.
Wah.
Not sure if he looked down or not, but he actually did.
Timing lagi.
The discipline was there.
What a beautiful clear that was. I mean, that was so well played from Smoggy and Hardon in particular.
Jing belum jadi battle stage nih anjir.
Try and clear this. A crossfire in kitchen.
Just Pinston, isn't it?
Yeah, ripping them.
Play.
Nggak bisa, Davai mendingan pasti mereka mau saving lah ini, nggak mungkin nge-push.
It's all down to Defiant Forsaken. These rounds have been
kayaknya Cina emang hampir jago semua e-sport, bener-bener bangun e-sport. Iya, mereka emang di sana tuh bener-bener latihannya keren, keras banget anjing. Nice. Ya mereka cuma steal kill doang ini. Wah. Ayo. Nggak mau nge-pick, takut.
Paper X managed to save a single operator. But
wah, 1-6 nih guys.
No opportunity to get rounds on the board.
Nanti keras nih.
Bren, I think already our question has been answered. If we came into map 2 thinking, was it just Pearl that made EDG look close to
the gede.
Not at all. Not the case.
Gede lah pokoknya.
Even if EDG have a comeback and are able to win the map, similar to Pearl,
ntar gue lihat ya.
EDG I think have already showcased that they can go toe-to-toe with some of the best.
Belum ada di ini juga.
I don't know whether they're going to be able to pull off comebacks like that repeatedly.
Mereka main nggak tahu press pull.
Tahu. Oh, 1 juta, tahun lalu 1 juta. Tahun ini pasti naik lah. Tahun 2022
Nice Devin.
Looking to pick people up.
Nice.
Berapa sih guys?
Aduh, absen dong anjing.
You have got to be joking.
I mean, that is a really nice play. Just flooding players into Haodong there allows them to get rifles back. Whoa!
Anjing.
There's no way. There's no shot. You can't be whipping this one. Still collects the kill. Down to Mind Freak.
He
Noise bait.
has a Viper's Pit.
Yeah. Suspected he might be at the top there with a bit of a tap there. Now onto the spike, but this is going to be the late load straight through into mid. That's Chichu.
Bro.
Watching
Nice
all
try.
the potential angles. 7 rounds now. Fairwood Gaming. These guys are so in control right now.
Ini map attacker,
Destiny, obviously the stakes here. Early days.
Iya, belum tahu Ton, bener Ton, price poolnya belum dikasih tahu.
Yeah, ADG are looking
Cuma tahun lalu 1 juta, jadi nggak mungkin tahun ini turun.
moments there where PaperX might be able to get back into the round, but look at the scoreboard. EDG are 7 up, and they've been able to win these anti-eco rounds. It's not like they're giving PaperX opportunities that
Map 3 is real. Aduh, jangan dong, jangan usah streamer respect anjing.
out of play here as Kang takes it up.
Kinclong banget tuh. Phantomnya nyala banget. Wah. Gila.
An impeccable one at that. No Mind Freak. No Viper utility to try and block off 410 or any sort of aggressive play that might come into way, and you can see that his pace once more being injected behind this.
Jangan jing, udah jing. Lo kalau nge-pick. Gak kena lo. Wih. Hah? Miss. Aduh anjing.
Wah, Haodong sih gila ya bro. Wah.
Haodong sinting cu. Gila. Gila Haodong sinting
He's a
banget.
master inside the Viper's Pit. He just can't be stopped.
How is he getting this much value, man? He's using a Vandal in it as well. All the traces revealing his positioning.
But it doesn't matter because every shot's a headshot for Haodong.
Just robotic.
Gila lu lihat tuh refleksnya tuh.
He looks fantastic inside there. And honestly, Brent,
Wis.
when I was gaming,
Wis, santai, relax. Adrenalin emang ya, bro ya.
but their weakest mechanical player is still better than
Gue demen nih kalah nih, ke comeback, diem lo.
Kalau ke comeback kayak tadi mukanya.
Never in
Apa lagi tadi comeback juga itu?
Comeback tadi.
Comeback kan tadi kan 5-0 jadi 8-5.
11 and 5. I mean, both Haodong and Chichu have found moments to put the team on their back. Haodong with his IGLing, with his performance, with his ults.
Ini kalau beneran sampai map 3 sih, gue bikin mie dulu sih ini beneran nih.
Kayaknya sih gitu sih, Jo.
Kayaknya gue mau makan lagi sih.
What would this match have
Coach Alek ngamuk.
with a full roster?
Ayo Alex, kasih lah anak-anakmu
Obviously, never a question that
baikmu.
maybe will
Harus respect Haodong, gak bisa main satu-satu picknya. Iya. Gila jauh banget sih Haodong.
This should be, in theory, a weakened version of EDG. Who knows how much time Smokey's had to practice with them. Of course, listed as a sub and traveled with them to Istanbul, so they must have been somewhat prepared to run him. But this is spectacular.
Cek, halo?
Uy.
Context, EDG are putting the hurt on PaperX more so than even FPX did in the final.
Drifting.
You know? This is a world-class performance coming out from
Kalau Thrifty sih kocak sih.
The questions we had for this team. How are they going to be competing against the top dogs? Well, looking at that 8-1 scoreline.
Nah, ini kenapa di sisi?
Playing quite controlled on these defaults too. EDG leaving not just Kang to watch over towards A, but multiple
standar.
Oh iya bener lagunya Jok, baru tahu.
Dar, gila, 4 second polos banget. Keng.
Relentless aggression. Willing to play confidently, take the risks, why not? Even against that half buy.
Bukan di-res itu Mel, bukan di-res, mau ngambil senjata. Mereka lagi Iko, nggak mungkin ngeres.
Number 2 is Jing, number 3 is Forsaken.
Ini nih, refleks Licky Q-nya, bung. Gila.
Obviously this is an anti-eco round, but we've seen it all match so far.
Bisa gua.
Honestly, as well, I was thinking.
Percaya kok gua.
Believe sama Besti lu lah. Believe sama Besti.
Believe dong. Believe aja dulu.
Nih, gue juga believe aja dulu. Nice. Itu lagi ulti kan ya?
Siapa?
Tadi si Smogi.
Might be getting a little overconfident, but listen, I can't blame them. They're 9-1
yang
up
ulti si Smugi atau
and the res brings Kankan back online anyway.
Dibunuh, chambernya di res sama Sage-nya.
Push down for a tube, Forsaken is dealt with.
And there's never a hole in this
Forsaken lagi dibully di sini anjing.
They exist on the map for sure, but it feels like EDG have a great read on where PaperX's players are going to try and challenge. Which areas of the map they're prodding and poking.
Bit of spam with the Vandal, fearless man.
Yeah, and that's Haodong pinging out the position that Mindfreak is normally holding the smoke for.
Bawah. Aduh.
So quickly on the global
Sampai
stage.
bawah. Bukan.
Contact plays.
Cek. Suara gua ada nggak?
Ada.
Oh, RTO tadi gua anjir.
Pantesan lu hilang.
Just about brushing each other's backs, aren't they?
Dar. Wah, gila Haodong.
Haodong finding the timing on everybody through mid.
Haodong. Wah. Haodong timing tuh kalau nggak bisa menang dengan AWP.
To a 3v2 where once again EDG have
Ganti senjata nggak sih, Fai? Fai, ada. Fai, ganti senjata, Fai.
Always being set up on the angles first.
Dia ngeliat. Nice. Wah, dia nggak turun. Nice try.
Not quite. Edward Gaming not sleeping at the wheel.
Gila bro, dibantai bro, 110 bro.
Nah, ini map 3 Israel kalau udah kayak gini nih.
Iya, map 3 Israel deh.
Ini attacker ini, menang nih.
Berat sih, kalau 11 sih berat sih.
Pokoknya dia harus menang pistol.
Unidimensional, one-dimensional I'm buying in some senses. It has to push you. This map,
Atas, yang atas, 110.
EDG is just plowing.
Oh, roundnya.
Mainnya pasti lebih dari.
Iya, roundnya berarti ini round 12 ton, kan 110 udah 11. Ini round ke-12. Hitungnya gitu.
Maksudnya kalau dia udah menang kan pasti pindah map dong.
Iya, pindah. Bukan pindah map, pindah posisi. Apa sih? Menang apa sih?
Nih kalau misalnya dia udah menang sampai habis nih, round habis nih.
Gantian CT sama terornya.
Enggak. Kalau udah selesai map ini ganti map baru.
Iya, udah map keberapa ini?
Itu kiri atas, lihat gak?
Ini map 2.
Kiri atas, Ton, lihat gak? Ada Pearl. Pearl itu game sebelumnya, sekarang lagi Icebox.
Oh, 3 map ya.
3 map, BO3. Iya.
Emang Riot baik banget bro. Gue dikasih player cards bro.
Keren.
Oh, ini kalau menang 1-1 dong.
1-1.
Iya.
Penentuan decider map.
Nice.
Nice. Let's go. Bisa ini this is it guys. This is it.
Comeback
This
Israel.
is it. Ini this is it.
This is it.
This is it.
Ini record side, let's go. Ini Forsaken langsung 25 kill ya.
This is it.
Thank you very much, Bren. And Sideshow, what are we seeing here, Kilios? What are we seeing?
It is the pure, unadulterated chaos and madness that I was talking about. This is just absolutely wild plays coming through. But something that doesn't really shock me, the draft, that's what shocked me. I think that if you have Haven open, that is a map that you should willingly be picking against EDG. Everything else is a little bit more up in the air. Icebox is absolutely one that I would have strayed away from. They played this against Onslayers in the LCQ in East Asia, and again, nobody ace on Sova. He just does it again. It's incredible.
Yeah, and they're so good on this map, and that's despite the fact that they're playing with a substitute. They pull Smoggy in last second. He 1-for-1 fills the wall, and he's looking incredible here on Icebox. EDG have not skipped a beat in the coordination or in the skill performances in individual.
Yeah, let's talk about Smoggy because we expected Live to be playing Jell.
Masuk Game Pass.
Kilios, what have you made of his
Kapan sih dia ini ya?
role on Jet?
So far from Smoggy, honestly, kind of across both maps is that he is playing service swing. They don't need Smoggy to come in and have a life-esque performance. Everybody else is
watch
so
party
good to be able to pick up where there are
so
some moments of slack. But they just needed him to be serviceable, and he is absolutely doing that and a little bit more on top.
Game Pass bukan PS.
I mean, looking towards this second half now.
Xbox Game Pass.
No, don't be distracted by the
That's my gift to Benkai.
That's from you.
Yeah, that's from me.
That's so sweet, but it's not sweet right now for the PaperX fans because it is looking grim for them. Only 2 rounds thus far. Their attacking side can struggle on this map sometimes. And with the Fade, they're going to struggle to be able to counter out the operators on the other side. They're going up against a Jet, EDG can throw aggression, they can hold with the ups. It's a really powerful defensive side. I don't really see a world or some crazy paper X magic where they can come back.
Yes or no?
Hang tau, hang tau.
Well, the desk has no center. What do you guys think?
How dong.
Sniper tadi.
It's
Gila.
gonna take the pistol round, I think, to start things off for any sort of comeback on this map. It'll take the pistol round.
I mean, if you
Ntar ini nobody-nya bukan nobody dari game sebelah kan?
Bukan.
Anjir, kalau nobody game sebelah jago juga soalnya.
We are set up here for
Temennya abangnya Jason.
Yeah. You know, as Achilles is saying on the desk, Haven is one of those maps that I would have also expected Paper X to go for, and Paper X have the advantage on. But who knows with this? I wasn't expecting Icebox to be this one-sided.
I honestly would have said it on, I think, both of the maps we've seen so far, but
Nice.
all that pressure that's being applied just through the choke point, that's going to force out the horns and the wall as well, portions of it being broken.
Satu dah, kalau bisa Haotong bunuh Haotong aja.
There goes Smoggy.
Ya, Haotong mati. Kalah nih.
That EDG have brought in.
Cicu. Nice fight. Meskipun kebuang 700 ya. Anjing.
Edward Gaming is that they are not going to be afraid still
Nice.
to get straight into the action.
Ayo, langsung. Nice. Dah, ayo lu. Mau kemana lu? Mati lu. Mampus dah, GG. Ayo lu. Hits. Ya. 4 second udah mulai hot nih. 4 second nih. Paper X tim Singapura, tapi iya, jadi Paper X itu tim Singapura, tapi mereka itu pemainnya banyak, yang tapi APAC semua. Malay, Singapura, Indo.
Cocok banget buat Seaprat emang nih Perex.
Si Pride banget. Itu 4 second sama Main Freak orang Indo.
Kalau di DG nggak ada.
Di DG Cina semua, full Cina.
Kalau kata email satu Rusia.
Got in at the last second.
Betul. Valid. Temen gue itu gue kenal.
If we're gonna talk though about the potential for a comeback during this,
Iyalah, APAC Pride bro.
It did.
Besok waktunya dukung Boom.
Besok dukung Indo Pride.
Yoi, I want you in my room.
Sulit sih tapi ya, lawannya optik anjir. Gila.
Bisa nih.
Tapi Boom tuh lagi panas banget juga sih. Aduh, 4 peluru tuh, 600 tuh.
Tahu kan Cina latihannya gila-gila.
Justru ini tim Cina Dark Horse di sini, Ton.
Karena baru masuk dia.
Karena dia bener-bener baru masuk, clean sheet gitu loh. DLC di sebelumnya nggak pernah kalah sama sekali di match penyisihan nih.
Iya.
Dan mereka ngadepin PRX kayak bisa kayak gini tuh sinting aja. Aduh. Atas bawah nih. Vertikal sulit nih, vertikal tuh kan. Vertikal sulit. Kalah bos, sumpah kiri. Wah. Udah deh. Dah, GG dah. Dah, maaf 3 Israel kalau kayak gini mah bro. Dah. It's gone man, it's gone.
Just completely unexpected. You asked me to predict this match as well.
Look at the skill involved here. I mean, EDG are never out of these kind of rounds.
I love this as well, the play when they're on this eco round. Play fast, position. Yeah. Chuck the bodies towards the site that you think that they're leaning towards. You know? Trade it out, try and play for it.
And listen, a lot of teams do that. That's not specific to how EDG are playing.
Gila.
It's the consistency of shots being hit that's absurd. And the fact they're keeping
13-11 gak sih? Wah gila, kalau mereka bisa 13-11 sih.
Tapi waktu final Master kemarin kan kutukan 11 tuh. 13-11 semua Vin. Tiap matchnya.
Emang iya?
Iya.
Gua gak nonton. Oh mati lu. Nah, udah kena mah, udah kena. Ayo 13-11 deh, yuk lah. Run and gun is real.
That could have been an opportunity had Haodong found two.
Mati nih.
Nice.
Di headshot langsung.
PaperX have another life.
13-11 ini.
13-11.
Hasta nih, kalau Hasta bener Hasta dukun, jadi dukun merah dia.
Enggak, susah ya.
Berat tapi gak impossible. Anjir.
Ini gue ambil makan dulu cukup deh.
Cukup lah. Gue juga lapar sih, cuma gak ada makanan gue, jadi gue menghirup udara aja deh. Ini bakal public atau buat member? Kalau ini public guys, gue gak boleh member kalau ini. Gila, stage-nya keren banget ya.
Oh jelas dong, Riot nih
Oh
bos.
siap, let's go. Mau dong Secret Lab, Valorant Champions kursinya. Pengen loh, itu keren loh. Dengar-dengar kalau gua top track nyala nanti kursi gua.
Ada RGB-nya.
Ada RGB. Lu masuk official watch party, masuk. Yo Secret Lab, if you're watching this stream, I love Secret Lab. You know I'm using Secret Lab right now, okay? But it's a little bit broken nih, so can you please send me new chair? Yeah, Valorant Champion Edition. Thank you, I love you. Bye.
Nih temen gue lagi udah.
Oh ngelunjak bang, ini kan aku kan kerjasama bang.
Iya.
Nggak ngelunjak dong, kalau kerjasama kan sama-sama menguntungkan.
Udah beres game-nya?
Belum.
Oh.
Anjing Anwit cuma buat nanya itu doang cok.
Oh nice. Wah. Nice trade. 4v3, don't lose it.
Nice. Habis dia pelurunya.
Jangan di push.
I don't think Devi intended to go for that one.
Kayaknya kepencet tuh Bang Dapai.
Tapi dapat tuh Audong tuh.
Dapat. Just nice. Last nice Jing. Let's go Jing. Battle stage. Let's go.
And he does Jing things again and cleans them both up. That's a wild round. But now EDG are gonna have rifles back in their hands. I was curious honestly as well.
Valorant gue cuma lihat nama Manser, nama lu nggak ada. Ada kok, gue di post gue Valorant one up.
Into the rifles being played. Yeah, Kang opts a lot more than Devi or Forsaken on PaperX. Even if you combine Devi and Forsaken together, Kang still uses the operator more than they do. Yeah. Opting not for it in this case, but a tour de force out for Devi on the attack side doesn't normally play these kind of situations too aggressively, more just to support the rest of his team. But Devi has the spike heading towards A right now, and it is such an aggro setup from EDG.
Thanks from EDG. Kaya takes the fight, nobody's trying to bail him out, but at least there is
3v4. Aduh, 2v4.
The follow-up.
Nice.
He's still up top on Bell.
Ayo, 4 second.
Expended. Forsaken's just trying to get the hell out of there.
Ayo Jason. 2v3, don't lose it. Ayo nih duo maut. Jing 4 second. Ayo. Oh turun. Aduh. Oh oke. Ayo clutch. Ini satu lagi di mana belakang ya?
Ini.
Oh. Kan 1v2, satunya lagi di mana?
Oh satu lagi belakang.
Maksa banget tuh ya.
Gak maksa sih sebenarnya, dia mah harus nge-push kalau nggak dibokong. Sayangnya.
Definitely bodes taking a look at again. They had an aggressive Viper smoke that Smoggy was inside of, and Smoggy is then able to swing out on Belt off the back of everyone else's aggression. That is.
Kenapa ya orang kalau pro player gitu, refleksnya tuh abis nembak nge-spray langsung ke bawah.
I haven't seen other teams using EDG bringing fresh ideas to the table at their first time at a global event.
Kenapa ya?
And they're just looking masterful.
Gue nggak tahu itu impactnya apa gitu loh. Kayak what's the meaning? Anjing. Itu crosshair placementnya bisa rata pala gitu bos.
And that's a first death. PaperX cannot afford it. They need 7 rounds in a row clean.
the res, but it's so far out in the open.
Spray biar ada replaynya dilihatin.
Ya mati
But the spam is there. There is going to be coverage in play. Recon against the side.
Oh, spray itu biar bisa lihat replay. Oke. Paham.
Have to be clean with the fundamentals. Have to be clean with the gunplay. They are coming out at least. On top of that, one short engagement. Still a minute
Suka
left.
lezat liatnya kalau satu kunai kena. Iya anjir. Satisfying banget ya. Jing Dafai. Jangan Jing Dafai. Jangan mundur. Timing. Wah.
Yang menang siapa tuh? Edward ya?
Edward.
Edward tuh siapa anjir?
Tim Cina.
Pasti Edward sama CEO-nya.
Santai dong.
Gila.
Kenal gue.
Haotong diteriakin bro sama kaptennya bro. Kata Haotong abis ini gue throw lu anjing. Iya, mereka tuh kalah sebelum pasang spike, jadi mereka tuh wipe out guys. Kalah aiming anjir sama EDG. Keren loh EDG ini aimingnya creeps banget anjir.
And actually, it was Papex whose attack rounds looked a bit more one-dimensional. Always just leaning 5 players towards A.
Saudara Jot, bener juga lo kayak Jot ya. Si Kangkang kayak Jot anjing waktu Jot botak.
Ini yang anjing banget.
Iya ini. Aduh. Woi, nge-whip.
Ini absen nih tadi nih.
And despite the fact that this is just an opening game in groups, the first game champions, it does feel like there's still stakes on the line.
Yeah, high octane gameplay. We're going to go to a short break.
Ternyata bener Edward nama CEO-nya.
Analyst desk will break down all the action and set up that critical map number 3.
Tadi gue nanya sama si Edward.
Bodoh lah.
Mending lo liatin deh, ini gua.
Ape. Oh iya.
Gua.
Lupa.
Ini Devin nonton di Twitch. Iya nih Twitch official Valorant nih. Dari Indonesia siapa aja yang watch party? Kalian bisa lihat di sini. Nih kalau kalian mau ceknya tuh yang ini guys. Nih di post yang ini nih. Ini yang watch party yang official di Indo. Region Indo. Tuh ada total berapa tuh? 19. Yo boy is here bro. Oke tadi ya. Kayaknya enggak deh Jok. Jok. Besok mulainya lebih early tau.
Oh iya.
Zeta lawan Loud itu di sini 20 jam lagi. 20 jam lagi kan berarti jam 7 kan? Jam 7. Nah, Boom Esport jam 9 malam.
Iya kayak tadi dong.
Jam 10 deh. 22 jam. 47 menit. Jam 10 jam 10. Boom jam 10. Jam 10 ya. Jam 7 sama jam 10 malam. Nih kalian lihat jadwalnya di sini nih guys.
And that's all I can really expect moving forward into map 3 is that they're going to continue to look incredibly well prepared. We talked about time and time again, Haven has been basically their permaban map, but they decided to leave it open, so it can only make me
Fajar, welcome back to the finishing silver. Gue lagi nobar sama siapa? Discord ada Tejo, ada Joko, ada Email, sama ada Anton.
Blade nggak balik-balik, Blade anjim juga.
Blade lagi sama gengnya kali. Besok streaming lagi nggak Jumber? Streaming sih besok sih. Kayaknya besok gue ini deh guys. Kalau gue nggak ada apa-apa, gue streaming DBD siang kali ya. Gue pengen main DBD. Nah, besok jam 7 udah mulai, jadi gue bakal dari jam 7 watch party aja. Abab sih. Website itu di mana bang buat lihat jadwal? Liquipedia.net. Kalian ketik aja Valorant Champions 2022 ntar juga muncul paling atas. Indo kapan main? Besok jam 10 malam guys. Tuh lah kalian lihat perhatiin nih, kebanyakan pro player ini pakai widescreen ya. Dapat izin kah live? Dapat dong, kalau nggak berani gue. Manson nggak main di LCQ? Enggak, tim Manson nggak masuk kualifikasi.
I mean, Kong was talking about how he was really worried about potentially being nervous. I don't
100 Thieves kapan main? Emang 100 Thieves masuk ya? Oh masuk deh, iya deh. NA Last Chance. Belum tahu. Mungkin besok baru dikasih tahu di sini. Pokoknya tiap hari itu 2 match guys. Tiap hari 2 match tuh. Ini yang main kan Grey Group A sama Grup B dulu nih. PaperX lawan Edward, Leviathan lawan Tim Liquid, Optic lawan Boom, Zeta lawan Loud. Nah berarti 2 hari lagi Fun Plus lawan Crew, Exet lawan Cersia, DRX lawan Furia, sama Fnatic lawan 100 Thieves. Berarti kemungkinan prediksi gue 100 Thieves itu 3 hari lagi lah. 3 hari lagi jam 9, jam 10 malam lah. Mereka selalu message jam segitu. Klik I-nya. Klik I-nya mah buat apaan? Klik I-nya apaan? Ini. Oh ini. September 2. Ya bener, September 2 jam 10 malam tuh. Boom besok jam 10 malam. Iya bener, Zeta lawan Loud besok jam 7 malam. Ini kita live dari jam 7 malam kayaknya. Gue pengen nonton Boom soalnya. DBD keundur lagi. Nggak jadi DBD gue besok.
Keren banget ya yang ini Valorant Champion Edition-nya.
Nggak harus terus-terusan kok Jo.
Enggak, tapi bener Cok. Yang ini
apa kursinya? Iya emang. Dulu lihat ada motif logo lah. Kayak mark-marknya gitu. CT price poolnya berapa? Di atas $1 juta.
They've lost just once in the last 20 times they played this map. So I'm looking forward to seeing what EDG is going to come up with.
Last map is the 1-for-1 change out with the Jet, but
For second Jet. Jing Rena.
this up going.
Davai Sky.
And the Cypher too. The Cypher has also come through.
We're picking Reyna on Haven. Their previous composition was so good here, but they've played something similar domestically. They've played this before.
Bengkai pakai Cypher.
Back at home, and I mean, I guess it can maybe work for Paper Rex.
Even udah pasti Cypher.
Raise combo, but you do have the
Oke,
aggression.
combo for second Jing nih. Jet Reyna nih kita lihat nih. Ini tuh ibarat Piala Dunianya Valo. Iya. Kalau dirupiahin berapa? $1 juta, $15 miliar. EDG attacking. Gila keren amat. Layarnya tengahnya bisa kayak gini anjing.
And again, this is their weakest map historically. That one, I believe they got pushed 13 to 11 or so, maybe 13 to 10.
Halo, brar.
They're sticking with the same composition. This leads me to believe that they have to have some different strategies prepared coming in.
Yeah, it really did look rough then. When they were playing that domestically, I think the improvement will come through.
Wah anjay, pelatihnya Edward sih udah kayak juara Olimpiade matematika anjing.
Mirip Prodi anjir dari samping.
Bro, cuma nggak pakai kacamata aja.
Iya.
Yang kemarin Master itu bukan Piala Dunia, bukan. Jadi Master itu jatuhnya apa ya? Gue juga bingung sih kenapa Valorant ada dua. Major.
Ganteng banget Jok sambil makan Jok. Ganteng banget bro.
Ya, Master itu majornya lah, major turnamen. Nah ini World turnamennya.
Mr. Worldwide ya bang.
Ngantuk gue denger lo ngomong Mel.
Oke deh, sorry.
Udah lu cek cartridge gua.
Iya maaf. Gue lagi bayar utang bang.
Oh iya, Challenger Master baru champion.
Challenger tuh masih penyisihan setahu gua kan.
Iya.
Biar ke Master. Major bisa vote 2 itu mayor anjing. Capek banget. Besok kuliah pagi jam 7 kudu ke kampus, jaraknya 14 kilo tapi masih pengen nonton. Ayo jangan sampai kamu kesiangan. Wah.
Aduh.
Wah, gila dia bisa ngelukain Mind Freak loh itu setengah anjir, 50 HP.
Tapi emang dari tadi kan ini Pistol Run menang EDG.
Iya. Mereka Pistol Run selalu mainnya ini ya. Apa sih nama senjatanya?
Frenzy,
ya. Udah terus. Nice protection, nice smoke. Nice Benkai, nice. Dah, mampus lu.
Let's go.
Gak mati lagi gitu kan si ini. Si Smogi gak mati kan, gak dapat duit. Gila, TP-nya pas banget itu. Dukung PRX apa Boom? Ya, dukung Boom lah. Indo Pride bro, Indo Pride more than APAC Pride.
Kalian nggak tahu bentar lagi nih. Devin X Boom.
Buset. Wah, di gangbang Jo shortnya.
Tapi smoginya ding gitu.
Iya, smoginya ding. Dapat. Mereka nggak buy ya tadi ya? Tadi buy nggak sih si 4 second?
Enggak.
Oh, nice. Bang, ini Twitch drop abis diklaim langsung muncul di akun kita atau nunggu berapa hari? Langsung muncul harusnya.
That's Paper Rex saving 3 Spectres going into the next round as well.
Sentinel nggak lolos. Dia LCQ kalah sama
EDG actually,
siapa ya?
The way that they play Haven, they do have some slower rounds with big executes at the end, but I think Paper Rex are going to force the issue over and over again. Wow, what a wild stat that is. Paper Rex have a 1-4 record when facing the closing map in a series internationally. Paper Rex, I guess, just kind of destroyed.
Oh, kalah mau 100 Rift ya? Ah iya itu dia.
need to get into these scenarios or get
Sentinel udah tarik ini bukan pro player, content creator.
consider them favored here, even running the Jet Rainer comp. But who knows, this series has
Yang kasihan tuh itu si Sinatra. Masih belum bisa main dia.
Iya, lama banget bandnya anjir.
Kena kasus kan bang?
Iya, lama banget bandnya.
Ya kan kena kasus bang.
Tapi kan kasusnya nggak terbukti. Cuma udah keburu di ban sama
Emang nggak terbukti ya?
Enggak, nggak terbukti. Yang kasus ini kan ceweknya kan, nyiksa ceweknya kan. Iya, nggak terbukti.
Kang forcing the issue a bit earlier than Forsaken normally does, but still coming away with the kill.
Still holding a closer corner as well, anticipating that there's going to be that re-clear for information.
Tarik mantan pro CS, tahu gua. Gua tahu Tarik siapa.
Tarik tuh pacarnya Fuji kan bang?
So much on the line here for Benkai to try and do some work, but there's a paranoia in his face, and aftershock at that. He wants to try and weave and play inside of this one. Flash through's got another player's attack now, surely. It's going to be dealt with. Another device up there, but timing is everything.
Wah, spray transfernya sayang banget.
Unfortunately, with Spectre in hand, Benkai just didn't have enough firepower to be able to
Dah, save deh, kata Aaron. Dah, save aja kan ya.
Instead of going for a 1v4, we've seen incredible things from Mindfreak at Copenhagen and in this match, actually.
Sure.
Pulling out, though, I think it was a 1v5 on Pearl, but this is just not one that you go for with the spike already down.
Yeah, a percentage play just to save it up, but...
And what an interesting dynamic this is, because EDG are playing a composition
harus menang nih round berikut.
pretty familiar with. Of course,
harus.
they don't run the Jet, they run the Raze, but
kalau nggak sekarat duitnya.
with the Breach, with the Fade, they're familiar with how this kind of setup works.
Dicari anjing langsung.
Slightly different version of it. And the question is how they deal with these kind of
thank you Royce 1000-nya. Let's go Indo Pride.
Was Kang's lurk coming through mid. And you saw him take a duel against Forsaken, immediately wins it, and reads the repush from Jing, immediately reads that. If Forsaken and Jing can't shut this guy down,
mereka bonus round sih ini ya.
So many of our questions being answered, I think.
Itu sayang banget tuh kalau Phantom ya mati tuh.
This guy on the global stage, we knew he was a freak of nature. We knew that he was going to be playing aggressively, but bit of nuance that's been injected into his play, whatever the short time that they've had.
Speed emang masalah apa, Vin?
Oh, Speed di ban selamanya gara-gara toxic.
Oh,
Mario yang dia streaming ngata-ngatain cewek. Tuh, cuma cewek lu jangan terus jago. Blablabla. Teriak-teriak ngata-ngatain. Gila. Mati, Cok. Lu bayangin, Cok. Mati sama
Third player at the back of the side, answer is
Bridge.
yes.
Perfect. Just really nicely done from EDG.
Wah, timing.
Utility in his hands.
Ke gap.
Simply gonna run away.
Ketahuan.
Diburu dah lu.
That's what I mean.
Diburu dah lu dah.
Benkai should be favored there. Not quite. Prime Gaming flawless.
EDG running some of the similar executes, but it's not necessarily the execute and the utility usage that's so good on these site hits.
Ini loh, si Jing mati sama apa sih nama skillnya? Lupa gue si Bridge.
I think it's the way that they all push up together.
Skill E-nya itu kan.
Kalau di Goce.
There's no gaps on their execute. They all support each other. That means even if Smoggy isn't getting a 3K, even if Smoggy isn't 8-1 right now.
Enggak, ini belum lower guys. Kalaupun PRX kalah, mereka nggak langsung masuk lower dong. Emang masih main lagi kan, masih point accumulation. Wah, Jing 2 kali loh digituin loh. Aduh, kenapa nih? PRX, kamu kenapa ke gap terus? Langsung ke lower.
Avoid Benkai setups.
Oh, langsung ke lower.
I don't think that is a deliberate, conscious effort. It doesn't feel like.
Oh, aftershock ya, bener aftershock.
Beginning of the round to get information on where the Cypher's playing. They've just happened to go.
Anjir,
areas of the map.
Langsung ke lower.
Yeah, almost every lobby or a CX.
Chichu goes for the teleport. They just try and fight over, short and long, but.
Yeah.
Ya walaupun lower kan masih bisa main ya.
Masih. Cuma kalau kalah lagi di lower, kelar udah end.
Ulang.
gameplay on Haven with this comp.
And that's what it comes down to, I think. When you're up against the Reina as well, it's
Iya si Jing lihat tadi matinya sama aftershock loh. Sedih banget.
2 kali.
We will be winning these fights against you.
Yeah, and I think you know, the game plan is clear. The last time that we watched PaperX play with this Jet Reina comp, they're trying to avoid utility, still set up for Forsaken and Jing to take fights.
Udah begini
The
ya, bro.
idea being, you know, even with a Prowler in your face, as Reina or Jet, you can take that fight and then dash away and not get punished. At least that's the theory. But so far, Forsaken and Jing haven't been in position to take fights when the execute comes in. And when they do take fights, they're dying anyway to smoke.
Sulit, bro.
And Jing's had a bit of a brutal one of it in the last 2 rounds.
Aduh.
Getting caught out by those aftershots.
Jing kayak mentalnya udah kena deh.
That's been perfect placement in there. No gaps.
Oh, what is that?
Gila.
Smoggy is on a tear.
That was
Mempak.
The guy is 10-1.
Mempak sambil dash ke kanan.
Admittedly, a couple of his kills coming through, obviously, when PaperX are ecoing, but the confidence is there. Now an operator in the hands of Forsaken. Is this the change-up they need?
Using the Trailblazer to set up on A short. And this is the first time that EDG have gone for mid.
Nice, Jason, nice.
So risky.
It really is from both players actually jumping onto the line.
One way smoke, let's go. Ya, kena flash. Wah, rame bro. Oh, awas. Nice. Nah,
That's gonna be 2. Returns it back.
Lead, dudunya lead. Auto one hit. Fai, jangan ngecewain gua lu, Fai. Fai, butain Fai, lu punya
They swap it over.
Aduh.
The spike now onto the Omen, who fakes the plant and can ult over.
Nice.
GG though. He ends up going down, Forsaken with the operator.
Ayo.
Not quite.
Timing.
Nice.
Timing.
Could have been a courageous clutch attempt. It's
Timing.
the first round where PaperX are able to anchor a site.
It's, the first time you start to see a bit of value, I think, as well, out of this Reina pick. Jing getting the only 2 kills that he's got so far on this map, but it's enough to stop the push right in his tracks, and you'll see here from the replay.
Believe.
Beautiful stuff.
Really nice gunplay, but actually not making use of Reina. I mean, it
Ini kalau nggak salah updatean Riot yang baru buat Valorant ini deh, kalau lu ketemu player toxic lu bisa nge-ban dia, jadi lu kalau main nggak bakal ketemu dia.
Bisa, nge-block. Bisa. Kayak Dota. Dota kan udah lama fitur itu.
Abang gitu lagi bang.
Enggak, kalau itu kan fitur, nggak apa-apa.
Iya.
Itu soalnya fitur yang emang udah diminta lama. Wah gila. Kena tripwire. Nice.
Anjir, GG banget itu.
Nice banget main trick.
Sabar.
Kiri lu Jing. Jing please check corner. Jing check corner. Jing nice. Nice. Dapat tuh. Nice. Diklik kanan langsung, Cuk. Diklik kanan langsung.
And there's the value that you're getting out of Benkai's setups. Benkai able to use his cage there. Manages to dodge a flash as well. Sets up backside control for
Itu tripwire-nya Davai. Clutch itu. Benkai. Kok Davai?
He can't trade even though he's in the right position because he's using an operator. There's the value that you're getting from Benkai. And that time, EDG happened to go into it.
Time out lagi.
Ini finalnya baru
Edward Gaming lah.
Ini finalnya baru nanti ada penontonan lagi kayak kemarin ya?
Ada.
And at some point here, it turns out right now, EDG are gonna have to try and adapt their...
Setahu gua kalau udah masuk upper bracket udah ada deh, Jok.
Maksudnya masuk yang 3 ya?
Iya.
Ini kan
masih nentuin kan siapa yang upper, siapa yang lower.
And I think those info plays are actually quite difficult to do, maybe more difficult than I'm giving it credit for.
JJ is back, bro. Yo, JJ. JJ dari tadi turun anjing.
You saw in the previous round,
playoff udah. Iya, playoff tuh yang ini kan upper bracket, lower bracket kan playoff kan. Iya, ini belum ada soalnya.
I think EDG a bit more patience is going to be helpful for them. If you play fast, you're playing.
Ayu, welcome to Definition Silver.
You've got to find a way to slow the game down.
Kan main freak Davai Benkai, Corsair bawanya Carnival kan.
Kayak ngadi-ngadi lu. Gua tolak kalau gua di over.
Itu tadi Frody marah-marah tuh.
Aduh, Frody marah-marah ya.
Kangkang tuh.
Kangkang ya.
Kalau deket kepala Kangkang ditoyor tuh sama Frody.
Per second deh tadi berani banget anjir.
Dia nggak ada dash, harusnya balik nih, dia nggak ada dash.
Berani banget tadi si Jason, angle AWP-nya berani banget.
Kayak aim dia.
Dia beli banget sama aiming. Oh, di backup sama Bengkai. Pantes iya, gua nggak ngeliat Bengkainya. Oh, di Bengkai cover mah aman. Wah, ketahuan. Balik dulu lah. Wah.
Udah apa tapi?
Nice banget. Gila itu risky banget. Dia udah kayak fuck it, I'm going all in.
Just gonna leave Jing with that Cypher utility. The trap wire smoke going up onto the connector. Now Spike.
Plan mid.
Dapat info dari A. Hanya masuk.
Nice.
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 Aduh, Smogi bahaya nih, nggak ada ngecek belakang.
Smogi lurking banget anaknya ke A. Nice. Aduh. Untung nge-weave anjing. Untung nge-weave. Ya. Main freak.
No knives really finding them.
Nice. Hey, the kodok.
Let's go. Deals that final blow necessary.
What a play by Mind Freak. I think he's 18 and 5 in 1v1s recently. I mean, unless I missed one earlier on in the game, but either way, this guy has just been phenomenal recently in the clutch.
Untung
Smoginya nge-weave dulu, Cok. Takes time itu.
The cool way that he deals with this one, tapping to fake the defuse and then setting up on a wide
Itu popin swing tuh.
Asli itu paling ngeselin tuh kayak gitu.
Smogi popin swing cuma ketahuan.
And both teams currently have
Kang Bajai.
gun rounds to their name, right?
Lagi.
Lu bilang Kang Bajai, gua kepikiran Bajai Bajuri anjir.
Iyalah, time out lah.
Gila waduh, seram-seram di time out mulu sama EDG.
Setahu gua harusnya kalau kayak ginian tuh ada maksimal time out deh.
Udah habis ini, udah habis 2 kali doang.
2 kali kan.
Iya, tiap
biasanya.
Ini 2 kali time out. Kalau time out gini kan sebenarnya bot tim boleh ngobrol kan?
Boleh
lah.
Ini yang time out PRX ini. Yang time out PRX guys, bukan EDG. Ngapain? Ngapain mereka time out ya?
Apa lagi momentum ya?
Iya.
Strategi bang.
Gitu ya. Siap coach.
Less than half the time,
main basket aja
always trying to fight
Siap,
before
coach.
you get to the site. So even if you just use the ult to secure the
kecuali
spike
technical issue yang nggak bisa ngomong sama sekali.
Is rubbish at retakes. I mean, it's just got no utility.
Takut overheat. Oh, takut kecapean ya. Istirahat dulu katanya.
Why not try and get value out of the breach hole?
Tangannya stretching dulu tangannya.
A post plant setup maybe, or maybe just trying to
EDG.
force Paper X to play around it, but honestly that's only gonna make
Ya, ada orang.
Ada orang. Kosong. Nice.
Emang mau retake ini.
Emang mau retake ya. Mereka sengaja lepas retake.
Nice.
Anjim. Nice rewire cuy.
Everyone revealed to him.
And with Kangkang down, Jing now gets the flank
Jetnya mau
off.
offset tuh, jetnya mau offset tuh.
Jing is so
Nice.
Gila.
Gila positioning. Nice Jing.
Nice banget.
Nice. Kena cok, mentalnya anjing flawless, keren banget. Itu rapi banget.
Oh, itu strategi bang, gitu bang.
Siap coach.
Kalau coach sudah ngomong,
Siap coach.
Jangan sama ya strateginya, harus beda nih. Gitu.
Itu tuh.
Tuh coach tuh.
and they're playing off the kill.
Bengkai tripwire-nya clutch banget, Cok.
Jing is smart enough to realize with the chamber down, he can go for the fast flank play. It's gorgeous stuff.
Dong mereka half buy nih, masa iya?
Ini bentar lagi Asta mau direkrut nih jadi coach.
Parah. Jadi analis nih Anton nih.
Iya kayak Om Wawa. Nice ding.
Nice ding. Oh, lu lebih cepat sih.
Aduh, udah Vai.
Lebih cepat setengah detik gitu loh. Kayaknya gue mesti refresh ya abis ini.
Nice.
Nice, Jing.
JJ
udah mulai marah, bro. Aduh, Jing.
Mati nih, ngepick mati lo.
Di pause terus di play lagi. Oke. Nah, udah. Bener loh, gak usah di refresh, pause play aja. Emang kayak YouTube.
Just wants to anchor inside of his own smoke. Yeah, I mean, he's avoided this horde though, and nobody's looking towards him.
This is my freak.
Kangkang does.
Sayang banget.
Wah,
anjing. Kangkang.
In and out of the shots.
Aduh, kok kosong? Gimana sih?
Itu di belakang dia, di belakang tuh.
Oh iya.
Celong.
Wah, kalau dia tadi ngepick long enak tuh.
And Kangkang's hit enough nice shots that it
Wah.
comes down to a 1v1.
Wah.
Look in a garage.
No way.
Nice.
Nice banget.
Okay.
Nice. Tibek dulu, Ken. Tibek dulu.
Aku suka ini nice band
Udah panas nih, Bos. Panas.
Jangan teriak sih lu.
Panas, Bos. Udah mulai hot nih bocil-bocil Asia gaming.
Bocil-bocil saya dong. Dia juga Asia.
Asia.
ASEAN ya.
Saya yoi.
Saya dilawan aja.
Ini main freak posisinya bagus banget anjir.
Iya.
Gak nyangka itu.
Itu si KK Kangkang sambil makan permen karet anjir. Ngomong apa tuh Jason tuh? Gak ini nih kita tenteng.
Forsaken 4 and 7 right now.
Set ini siapa?
Struggling a little
Jing
bit
ya?
to take the duels against Smoggy.
Set maju
But rest of his team doing a decent job.
Lu mungkin Dark Horse. PRX nih boys. Jing offside banget anjim.
The escape mechanism that he was looking for.
It was the flash haunt combo.
Yeah.
From Howdong and Nobody. EDG love using that. It's such a great combination.
Wah. Offside.
Punished. Divine was just flashing off the back of the Prowler. And both attempts at Paper Rex of getting aggressive.
Abis si Tibek marah mereka, bro. Waduh, Bengkai.
Eventually, no. Gotta shut that guy down. So the trade is there.
Forsaken nih. Forsaken ace nih.
Forsaken, operator, cloud burst.
Forsaken ace gak sih?
Nice
angle pick.
Forsaken was missing a lot of those op shots. But that connection gives him an opportunity back in the round. No way you got a
bullet in the operator.
Wah, ketahuan.
They heard him. Up into heaven there, even the
Wah, gak kena.
Jumping, hopping around the corner, staying safe for the time being because they know that the
Gak dapat.
Gak dapat. You can see them jumping forward. Deals with it handedly.
Itu mereka kandan tuh 1, 2, 3.
Terus.
Iya, 84 ya.
The 2v3 clutch that may have been coming through.
Smoggy aja 17 sendiri anjir. Gak jelas anjir.
Gila.
And there's a little stat. Paper Rex have only won 4 retakes across this
Nobody tadi killnya 0 ya.
But also, like I said earlier, they're not the team that plays for them. They play for retakes the least
Iya, makanya tadi kill 0 kan.
They want to fight you aggressively and stop
dia baru kill 2 di round ini.
And I think a lot of the time that ends up being the better option for them. If EDG can get this final round on the board, it's still looking like a great half.
Still looking doable.
Devin. Aduh.
Angle being watched, but again, it's another approach over towards C. Another heavy execute into it, a bit of spam into the smoke.
Ya, ketahuan dah. Udah deh. GG dah.
Maybe a player there's a step.
Udah deh. 75 deh.
Pure discipline in play, but now they have to deal with Jing. This guy looking like a final boss.
Jing.
130 from above. Forsaken was there with the knives and updraft. But they do deal with him in the end. And that's that 5th round for Edward Gaming.
That's the one that saves the half, that makes it look doable. EDG should have been at a disadvantage in this map. All the analysts were saying Haven should be Paper X's, and I think Edward Gaming, despite the fact they didn't get out to a hot lead like they did on the prior two, have done enough here to still make things even.
Gila Kangkang.
Absolutely. I mean, this first half all locked up.
Gue kesel banget lihat orang kalau main sambil ngunyah permen karet.
Break down all the action, set us up for the second half of our final map.
Thank you very much, Bren. And a sideshow. I could watch these two teams play all day, Achilles, but Paper X, they came out on top as we expected.
Yeah, I mean, so far, it's looking pretty good for them right now. They have a slight little lead. Things got off to a really rocky start for EDG, and then they started to find a little bit of stability. But you can see how close those rounds were. I mean, from the outset, they were able to get a spike plant down, and Benkai just cheekily sits there and diffuses it.
Iya, ngunyah permen karet tuh kayak so jago gitu loh. Tapi emang dia jago sih.
From there, that was a really rocky start, but they were able
Cuma
to
keselnya gitu kan kayak anjing tengil banget nih bocil.
One-sided affair going into it.
Ngunyah permen karet.
Mindfreak, Brennan and Saisha mentioned in their cast that Mindfreak really made his name at Copenhagen. He was having a great tournament, and that's been continuing here so far as well, Achilles.
Yeah, he's just been incredible. When you get him down to like a clutch scenario, you can very much rely on him. His decision-making moment over moment is fantastic, which is something that you really need when you have somebody who's playing like an Astra.
Yeah, and I think his style of play has had to be very particular based off the composition that was brought out. Like the casters were mentioning, for Paper X, their retakes are really, really difficult with this composition. You're kind of losing out on that big initiator retake potential. So you have to be fighting on site. They have that delay factor with the smokes and with Benkai, but Mindfreak really often was having to be that first point of rotation to aid in holding things down. But as we look ahead to that second half of play, I'm expecting another change-up. Normally Forsaken plays the chamber. He's lurking, he's playing slower on this map. I think that will have to be Benkai, and we get just crazy double-edged with that Jet and that Rain. We'll have to see how EDG can stop it.
I can't wait to see it, Mimi. I'm going to throw this back so we can get back into game with Saisha.
Abis ini masih ada game lagi, Vin?
Masih.
Sampai jam berapa?
Ya, pengen mulai jam 12 lah ini. Jam 12 jam setengah 1 gitu mulai. Tim Liquid lawan Leviathan.
Sampai jam berapa anjir?
Jam 3 mungkin.
Jam 3.
Terus lo stream sampai jam 3 berarti?
Enggak. Gue jam setengah 1 udahan paling. Kuat bro, besok aja gue nonton dua-duanya. Boom sama... Siapa ya besok ya? Apa gue? Boom non optik sama siapa tuh dari jam 7.
Nasty. More so when you have the Raze on board. But even so, it's going to be a tough nut for Paper X to crack.
Iya, BO3 ini, best of 3.
Lord knows how long. That was the timing he was waiting for. Not quite sure what it was, but already pressure being applied now. The players just swarming out onto the site, and Paper X not be leaving any gaps in their approach.
Udah clear, A-side udah clear. Yuk, bisa yuk.
It's going to be the spike now. Awarded to them so they can get themselves into this post-plant scenario. Smoke will be fading away from heaven.
Awas.
Chooses to take it, but
Kangkang would love.
Wah, Jing.
Being able to pick up Jing would also be amazing.
Who the hell is he live for that long?
Dar mati.
Just the raid boss at that point.
Nice trade.
Clean fundies though. Clean fundies. That's the name of the game for Paper X. Players ready and waiting to trade each other out.
Kebalik area. Match 1 Loud versus Zeta, match 2 Boom versus Optic.
Despite the fact that EDG are able to get the opening pick. Brent, in the first 2 maps, it's absurd. EDG are up 8 first kills compared to Paper X. I mean, they're +8 in terms of the first kills compared to Paper X.
Sudah mulai capek ngetan kayaknya.
I mean, part of that is going to be because of how one-sided Icebox was, but it really feels like EDG are controlling the early round pretty well, and then Paper X's trading is allowing them actually to still recover these 4v5s. And that's something that Paper X have been very good at. They might be running into a stack here, though. This could start to get dangerous.
Trailblazer to try and clear. That's going to be a start. Is there going to be anything off the back of it?
Wah, stunnya mantap. Nice. Gila, Jing. Ngamuk, Jing.
The absolute spearhead for his team there.
Wah.
As they just approach into this.
Udah itu kedetek. Udah kedetek itu. Udah kedetek.
And these kind of maps are
so nobody lah. AFK aja lu.
When you lose both of the pistol rounds and the first one in such heartbreaking fashion.
Nobody but you.
Wah.
Comeback Israel. Oh no.
Despite nobody's best efforts, he is going to get
run down by
a very hot Jing right now.
Dimas, welcome back to Definition Silver.
Had a slow start to the series, but 17 and 11 happening right now.
Yang di Indo, yang orang Indo di PRX siapa? Forsaken sama Mindfreak. Jason sama Aaron. Padahal itu stunnya kena semua loh, part-partnya gila.
And look at how Jing is just moving forwards, utilizing all the space that Forsaken makes for him too. Jing and Forsaken work as such a duo, trading out for each other. It's crazy.
Ayo 4 skor lagi bisa yuk. Agresif, main agresif. Kayaknya si EDG ini kalau diagresifin cengok deh.
Nggak siap.
Iya, nggak cengok. Soalnya playstyle PRX memang paling ngagetin tuh offensifnya pas defense anjir. Ayo.
Jing udah ada ulti nih.
Bit of disrespect being shown to the utility early on, and they are being given so much space. Flash burst off to the side, even the Lear as well, making sure every angle is watched for.
Masuk. Oh, mereka mau retake ini, dikasih. Mau retake. Ya, plan.
And they've saved, you know, Paranoia, 2 flashes, fault line, still a lot of utility to be worked with. So,
kayaknya kalau retake gak bisa menang deh.
It is an option, whereas it wasn't for PaperX.
Bisa nge-trade
Jing! Nice Jing! Nice!
Kalau gini
Nice Jing! Aduh, Jing greedy. Kalau dia dulu enak tuh. Spray transfernya lu lihat tuh.
On the shoulders of Chichu, he needs to try and get onto the spike to get that.
No time. Nggak bisa dimainin pasti sama Bengkai. Pasti dimainin.
There's no time cues though. There's no time at all to work with. In fact,
cabut dia. No time.
He knows that there's nothing to play for now, and Benkai's done his job.
Nice Bengkai. Nice banget. Nice.
Come on. 3 lagi.
Let's go. 3 lagi.
I feel like you're condemning your team with the 5-round deficit that EDG are now looking at.
Yeah.
Tough spot to come back from here. And I think while playing retake can be a pretty decent idea, you've got to be able to... That is fantastic. I think you've got to be able to get Smoggy into some crazy positions. When you're playing a jet on the retake,
katanya
that's not something that people
Devin
normally
mau
do, right?
giveaway
They play Raze with the fake comms. But when you're running the jet, you can smoke on top of default, you can dash onto it with a parry. There are more creative ways of playing the retake there than what Smoggy did. And maybe part of that is
terlalu capek gue untuk responnya.
Just isn't as integrated with stuff like their retake setups.
Ya, baru gue mau buka update.
Smoggy's been so good so far.
Buka update apa lu?
I sometimes find myself just forgetting that he's not.
Gak sosok buka update lu.
Iya, selalu ulang bang, salah.
Sok-sokan masih nyimpen tuh.
International tournament, at least on the global stage when it comes to these big events. They played in the East Asia LCQ2.
Habis nih TO-nya EDG nih.
This is new ground I think for Smoggy. He's filling in one of their players. So this is not even the complete roster.
TO timeout terakhir EDG nih.
EDG playing at 100%. And they also said in interviews prior that they knew there'd be nerves coming out in these first games.
Gue demen banget sama jersey-nya PRX dah. Jersey-nya unik anjir.
Beli dong langsung.
Enggak.
But it's all about that experience when you're a new team to the international stage, the pressure of playing these title contenders at LAN.
Paling berwarna sendiri.
Sebenarnya kalau misalkan PRX kalah nih ya, dia masih ada di Shader match nanti. Di elimination match, di Shader match masih bisa upper break. Ini langsung lower break.
Wah, anjing.
Gila.
Enak nggak tuh?
You can see the attempt from
dikejar lo.
Yes dong.
Kasih paham. Ayo, dibully lu. Ayo lu.
It's all about it, isn't it?
Aduh, diambil sama Jing.
Udah mulai ebol-ebol nih mana nih?
Udah mulai nih.
Distraught.
That is distraught. I mean, listen, Brent.
Sayang banget. Pundung dia bilang.
Dia mana mancing?
Fuck you, Jing. Gitu sih gitu. You stole my ace, why? Why, Jing? Why? Why, JJ? Why? Gitu. I don't want to play with you anymore. Tuh kan? JJ! Tuh kan?
Jing, what the hell, man?
Absolutely
udah mulai.
Oh boy.
JJ, dia marah sama JJ.
Ngambek anjing.
Ngambek
Beda lah. Yang penting menang lah, tai.
And this round is the
emang wah.
with an opening.
Not a very good jiggle peek by Forsaken. The Kangkang's offered 2.
Still want to take the fight. Jumping across that angle.
Dua tuker 1.
Bisa ini. 2 tuker 2 nih, lihat nih.
S nih, Jing.
S nih, S nih.
Satu S.
Waduh, dia yang buta, bos.
Temen sendiri, bos.
Wah, tipis. S nih.
Wah, depan belakang.
Depan belakang. Enten.
A critical round, vital one at that for Edward Gaming to take away and win when they invested all their money
ada ulti nih bridge-nya nih.
Mereka ultinya 3, bos.
Ayo dong 2 lagi. Don't throw this game, please.
4 orang, Vin, ulti.
Wah, gila. Tapi si chambernya, si Kangkangnya pasti nge-save buat next round. Kalau mereka kalah kan saving tuh.
Iya.
Masih ada AWP.
Yang bisa bikin balik TForce-nya.
Gila, lu lihat tadi killnya Smogi 19, tapi Jing udah ngejar 22 sih. Gila, Jing ngamuk. Oh, kok make sih? Kan dia pakai AWP, anjing.
Kangkang.
Aneh banget, punya AWP pakai Through the Force, mampus. Anjing. What the fuck? Gue ngatain mampus, ternyata dia malah dapat kill.
Itu pro player, Bang. Ada strategi ya, Bang.
Kamu diem deh.
Gitu ya. Ayo udah deh.
Ya, coach, maaf, coach.
That 1-2 punch, isn't it?
Smoggy's already burnt his dash, so gotta back away. But that's good information. It should start to pull people away from C. There's 3 EDG players on the C side. And Smoggy is gonna need help at some point.
Pro player lo pertanyain, Bang. Enggak, itu tuh soalnya gini guys, kalau misalnya dia pakai Through the Force, ya kan? Terus mereka kalah. Habis ini kan mereka eco. Sayang gitu loh.
AWP-nya kebuang.
AWP-nya kebuang gitu. Buat apa? Logikanya untuk money management-nya gitu. Waduh, nge-lag gitu.
All in kali, Bang.
Iya, itu udah pede banget mereka tuh berarti.
Try hard.
Wah. Nah kan, ini tingkat kepedean mereka tinggi banget, cu. Flawless anjing.
Gara-gara S-nya nggak dapet nih. Force kan ngambek.
Agak lah, hai.
Ya nggak ada langsung nih. Kok kamu serius banget?
Iya, kamu serius banget, Bang. Ngambek begitu buat jutaan dolar, Bang.
Jarang Kangkang kalah AWP. Gila.
Satu dekat banget ya?
Iya. Buset.
Santai dong.
Gini. Dia kan ngomong nice ke teammate-nya ya. Gue jadi teammate-nya gue tabok loh. Gue bisa diem gak lo?
Emosian banget, Bang.
Berisik gitu. Itu irep anjing, dia teriak ke kuping temen-temennya. Nice. Sampai pecah.
Lagi mic-nya depan bacot dia lagi.
Makanya.
Aska lagi ngomel tuh, Aska tuh.
Ayo nih, dapat orang bajuri dong, ayo dong, Davai.
Minum dulu. Minum G-Fuel. Kasih itu air putih pasti.
Red Bull.
Sparkling water itu. Bodoh.
Red Bull.
Kan dong, sponsornya apa dulu nih?
Red Bull.
Enggak,
itu pasti sparkling water, Bang.
Iklan itu, Bang.
Kalau Red Bull kan dia nggak mungkin di gelas dong, pasti di kaleng Red Bull. Promosi.
Iya.
Itu water cup biasa.
Kopi, baru mau ngomong.
Kopi atau air putih itu.
Kayaknya itu Kopken deh, Bang.
Bacot lu Mel lah.
Iya, di mana?
Gantian dimajuin loh.
Berpede, bro.
Kena lu.
Iya, through the wall aja. Serem banget, Kangkang.
Info dari B, B-nya maju.
Nice.
Nice.
Yuk, bisa yuk, abis time out, the power of time out yuk. Aduh gak jadi.
Nice.
Ayo ace.
Ini 4 second,
Gak
bos.
jadi ace, penta, kuadra. Wah.
Still though, you don't want to lose your grip on this round. No one was handed to you.
3v2, jangan agresif, 3v2. Post plan.
But now this late lurk that's coming through is
dapat
everything
plan
from
lo.
Mindfreak. He needs
Post
to get
plan,
value out
jangan
of this one, but he
greedy.
can't solve it. Maybe just the cape, but he knows the players are pushing up.
Aduh,
It's
nice trade,
down
2v1.
now. And this one he can go back around. He's aware of this.
Yes.
Nice.
Go.
Not
One more.
enough. The shot does
One
not
more,
go
baby.
for his target.
Let's go, baby. One more.
Mindfreak again. And now,
Let's go, baby.
one more round will do it for PaperX.
Iko bukan sih mereka?
They move up.
Force tadi.
Wah, gila.
Masih ada duit.
Masih bisa beli 2 AWP, cok.
Kan mereka menang tadi.
As the first team to lose a match are champions, but I've only been impressed with what I've seen from this Chinese team.
Nice one.
First appearance.
Ini siapaan tuh?
This round
Ya, ini biar nggak licin, biar nggak keringetan.
Extremely safe position.
Tapi di atas bukan di
He was
bawah.
over in the same area of the map that he is now.
Di finger kan?
Simply waiting for the
Tapi
fast
di
fight.
atasnya bukan di bawah.
And that's
Itu
what
biar
he's
itu
going to
deh.
be doing quite a lot here, just controlling the flanks, controlling the aggression.
Biar kutek lu nggak lengket kali.
Kan dong. Paling kutek temen gue, aduh.
Tahun 2002, wah kena lagi anjir.
And I don't think PaperX have enough utility.
Kakinya lumpuh itu, Jason.
Just gotta hope that, you know, Kankang remains static over here on C. If Kankang starts roaming around as well as Smoggy, PaperX might be in a bit of trouble.
Ada.
I'm just being used to clear close, but not really expecting. I think that the players could be there, and still.
Itu gunanya biar pas ngupil nggak lengket.
Nice.
That's a great angle.
Culik aja dulu, masih 50 detik, santuy bos.
Jing kanan lu Jing.
Hasn't been done much by PaperX on our attack sides, but it could be the final blow, that killing blow that they need to take the series.
Aftershock. Saya kan rotate ya? Oh iya, rotate semua dari B ke A. Ya, Forsaken kena culik.
Coming down to that angle, he fires off the shots now, but time
Udah
is
B
running
aja
low.
sih.
30 seconds in this one, and you can feel a bit of overheat, maybe a bit of pressure being applied to both of these players. They're calling the
Aaron nggak
shots.
siap.
Okay.
Aaron lagi nggak siap.
Wide swing from Jing to return fire from an opposite side of the map. But now with that cosmic divide split across, they know that the play is happening over towards A.
3v3 yuk, menangin yuk.
Wah.
Not gonna be able to get this one off. They need to
Wah,
find the
nice
kill.
trade. Nice trade, Jing. Nice trade.
But they still need to get the spike down, and they've just about stuck it. But now they deny it.
No time.
Can't get the second. Salvaging it.
Kankang peeked
Aduh, satu lagi cuy.
He could have thrown it.
They denied the plan, and he goes for.
He could have thrown it.
He goes for the kill. I mean, that is just kind of absurd, but that kill itself is bonkers too. PaperX trying something different in this attack round, where they faked a push towards B.
Tombol win.
Anjing sumpah.
When he plays chamber, but Forsaken got picked off. The Astral.
Jadi teammate-nya nggak ada yang berani komplain. Kayaknya dia investor, bapaknya investor deh di tim itu deh.
Kayaknya bapaknya namanya Edward.
Iya, bapaknya Edward anjing. Masa jadi temennya nggak ada yang lu bisa diem nggak? Berisik anjing.
Kejot ya mukanya.
Iya, kejot emang.
Fast approach. Aggression is the name of the game.
Nice. Kasih paham. Kasih paham, Jason. Kasih paham.
Ayo dong, ini.
Heal dong.
It's a 5v3.
Nggak bay lu.
Kok nggak di heal?
Nggak ada duit. Ini kan beli apa? Mereka low buy.
Mereka nggak bay ya, mereka. Ayo.
Any sort of value here. It's a brutal crossfire. Breaks it with the
nice.
Woohoo!
Nggak jadi. Dicuri lagi sama Bengkai.
Wah.
Apa dong? Yang penting menang ini.
Yang penting menang,
bos.
Nice. Let's go, GG. Let's go. GG Gaming, adik-adik. GG Gaming. Let's go.
Coba jam 12 kan?
Gila bro, anjing seru banget. Wah. Gila seru banget ya ngeliatin beginian dong ya.
The quality of play from every team at every single international event is global.
Alah sok-sok salaman lo. Udah mati kesel kan lo semuanya lo.
There are no weak teams in this tournament.
Mana gitu sih?
Nah ini kan mereka mau jabat tangan. Udah lu pulang-pulang katanya. Udah lu semua balik Olimpiade Matematika nih, nggak usah main Valorant deh anjing. Gila, mereka bisa calculated gitu ya, kelar 12-0-0.
Not only did both teams look look confident on Pearl, show us new ideas.
Trapnya bahaya banget tadi emang itu bagus trapnya.
Trapnya Bengkai cakep.
Rush Paper Rex on Icebox. And we got to see
EDG masuk perhitungan banget ini, bro.
Parah. Ini dia di lower bracket pasti bisa berjaya ini aja.
Belum lower bracket, ini dia masih bisa masuk upper.
Ini yang kecuri nih.
Upper 22. Kan juara 1 grup A lawan juara 2 grup B gitu kan.
Iya, juara 1 juara 2.
Duanya nanti ada di Cider match.
Iya, bete kan lo. Mereka nggak salaman satu sama lain.
Ini kayaknya.
Oh, ini dia nih. Foto dulu dong. Nah, udah nggak ada yang COVID nih, udah full team.
Tadi pas masuk benda ngapain? Nggak ada apa-apa nih.
Nggak tahu, nggak nonton kan kita.
They make improvements time and time
again. Anjay.
Still being tested. I think it showcased as well. A lot of people
Bocil. Full senyum ini.
The fact that you can't, you know, such high
foto dulu, foto.
Every step of the way, there are no easy opponents.
You talk about high caliber competition. That's what we've got coming up next as well. The other side.
Gila, Aaron sih kelihatan stylish banget deh.
Paper Rex and EDG are going to be playing against here. All smiles for Paper Rex. And that APAC rivalry.
Iya, diatur dalam ada file. Udah kata Aaron nyampe bacot lah.
The APAC scene has been going up over the course of this year.
Di kamar hotel ada yang bahas gagal ace.
Iya, benar. Lu gitu sih gitu.
JJ, why you do that, JJ?
And matches like this
My
are
ace.
special to watch because the players are absurd.
Yeah, and honestly, just the improvements that are being made on either side. Obviously, you can vote for our MVP here, Forsaken Mind.
MVP-nya Forsaken Mind Freak sama Jing.
Open up the camera app as well if you know how to use it. I've seen Golden Bush shot time, so listen, gotta throw it out there.
MVP-nya dapat berapa ya?
Who would I go for in this one? I think Jing's
Emang MVP dapat apa?
performance in the final map definitely.
Bisa di final biasanya. Bisa di final.
Iya, di final.
Yeah, is Jing playing off the space.
Total ngumpulin MVP kan?
Had some amazing moments as well.
Iya kayaknya.
It just sticks fresh in my mind, I think, with Jing.
Yeah, I think I'd be tempted to go towards Mind Freak actually.
Lanjut nonton Liquid gak bang? Pengen guys, cuma kemalaman.
I think that was a special match from him.
Okay, that's going to do it for match number 1 in the day, but it doesn't end just yet. We're going to go to a short break.
Oh enggak,
kita lihat deh. Oh
enggak, gue nonton satu match deh. Nonton satu match. Gue mau ngelihat skillnya Liquid soalnya.
Abang scout banget nih ya.
Parah. Bukan analis, gue analis.
Nge-scouting ya, buat e-sport
kan
deh.
Country presentation-nya Indo nomor 4 tuh, banyak juga 7 orang ya.
Iya, karena kan Boom masuk.
Iya. Paling banyak US.
Satu match, satu map, satu map, sorry, satu map. Iya, gue nonton satu map. Kalau satu match sampai kelar, sampai ada yang menang dong. Jam 3 gue yang nggak tidur tuh. Carnaval, C-nya coach, enggak gitu dong. Gila. Panas bos.
Itu akun di follow dulu kali.
Apaan? Gak usah lah. Gak usah di follow. Lu jangan ngomong Jo, lu mah. Ngomong lu mah. Follow deh nih, follow guys tuh. Bangsat kamu tuh Jo.
Enggak bagus nggak ini Leviathan?
Leviathan tuh tim Latam. Latam tuh apa sih?
Latin Amerika.
Oh, Amerika Latin. Gue nggak pernah denger sih, jujur aja. Jujur.
Siapa ya kira-kira yang masuk upper ya?
Oh, ini belum update sih.
Yang juara 2.
Oh, ini udah update nih. Tuh, 1. Belum guys tuh, belum masuk lower bracket kok. Misalkan
ini ntar yang lolos Liquid. Terus berarti nanti EDG lawan Leviathan menang EDG.
Let's say Liquid menang ya. Kalau dari performance base-nya sih Leviathan setahu gue sempet kalah di DLCQ. Shiver, welcome back to Definition Silver. Udah buat cemilan bisa dong sampai jam 3. Kagak ada. Cemilan itu supaya gua nggak ngantuk sejam ke depan.
Bisa EDG juara 2 nih. Bagus mainnya tadi tuh.
Bagus tuh. EDG bisa 2 kali sengit, 1 kali ngebantai anjir. Leviathan oke, secara team play lebih oke dibanding Liquid. Kalau Liquid itu kebantu 2 pemain doang. Jot, sumpah itu jot banget anjing.
Wah, tapi basic grupnya susah banget. Gue mata pro lajim baru lihat gue. Aduh.
Apa yang boom?
Iya, laut tuh bagus, optik bagus. Zeta juga bagus, aduh.
Celsia, Zeta. Celsia itu kan Indo killer anjing.
Celsia di C. Celsia tapi nggak tahu bisa lulus apa nggak. Crew bagus juga soalnya. Crew sama Fun Plus.
I mean, perhaps, but at the same time, this was an EDG.
Fun Plus kan yang menang Master.
Iya kan ya.
They have Smoggy, who while he played incredibly well, but this is without Life, who was instrumental in their success over in the East Asia LCQ. So
EDG pemainnya 7 orang, kayak main futsal. Hah? Oh iya, ada substitusinya anjir.
Today, especially going back to how close Pro was from the offset, I think EDG walks away victorious.
It was almost a 2-0, right? Yeah. One more round on map number 1 and that would have been a 2-0. They looked incredible on Icebox, but to focus on that third map there in Haven, we were really hyping up that this was a rough one, some weird history on this map for EDG, but they came out and I think still put up a really solid performance. However, it was Paper X really taking the cake. I think that for this composition, I still don't like the Reyna, but what I did like out of this comp.
Fun fact, Boom lawan top 3 Master Iceland. Makanya anjing Boom tuh ngap cuk di grup B. Zeta tuh tim top Jepang, Optik tuh tim top Amerika. Laut itu bukannya kemarin masuk final kan dia kan lawan Optik, menang Optik kan yang pas di mana itu ya? Master. Bukan. Master mah Optik lawan PRX. Kalah.
Enggak, sebelumnya lagi.
2021. Master Copenhagen apa Master Reykjavik?
Apa dia juara 3 ya Laut ya?
Oh, Laut juara 2, Reykjavik.
Juara 2 kan, bener kan? Oh,
final lawan final Laut lawan Optik kalah 3-0. Lu bayangin guys, Laut lawan Optik, Laut kalah 3-0. Terus mereka ketemu lagi di sini. Laut lawan Optik lagi nih. Sorry, Laut lawan Boom. Anjay. Zeta di sini menang lawan Paper X. Lu lihat nih, Zeta menang lawan Paper X, cok. Di Master, di lower bracket. Lu bayangin, Zeta menang lawan Paper X. Zeta kalah sama Optik. Laut dan Zeta dua-duanya kalah sama Optik, cuy. Gila.
Well, before the break, we asked you guys to vote for the in-zone player of the match. The results are in, and this
Berarti
is
Boom lawan Loud.
Boom lawan Optic. Lu bayangin, Boom lawan Optic. Gila. Ngap deh itu.
Yeah, I think that the thing that really started convincing
Bisa winnable.
Winnable, it's not impossible, tapi ngap aja.
Iya.
But I mean, he had an explosive performance there on Haven in particular. I still, in my heart, was going for Mind Freak though.
Ya mungkin bisa per round itu TO.
Round TO anjing. Tiap round TO.
I mean, I know you have some concerns given that, like you said, the substitute situation.
Tapi PRX kalian Optic di Copenhagen. Nggak, gue bukan ngomongin PRX guys, gue ngomongin Boom.
Lawannya susah.
Gue percaya, gue dukung Boom no matter what. Tapi gue cuma kasihan sama mereka aja. Karena lawan mereka tuh sinting.
Tryhardnya pakai banget soalnya.
Masalahnya Boom itu pernah lawan PRX di obok-obok. PRX di obok-obok sama
sama Optic.
Enggak
di obok-obok sih.
Enggak ya, waktu lawan Optic juga Peprek tryhard banget itu.
Iya, tapi kan
nggak di obok-obok, maksudnya tipis-tipis kan kalahnya. 3-2.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens for the rest
FPX, iya di obok-obok sama FPX, Optic aja.
But this group is looking, I mean, Josh and Brent said it was a group of death. Do you guys feel that now you've seen the two teams play?
Cuman yang kasihan Sentinel nih, rosternya roster monster tapi nggak lolos, Cok.
Mereka sampai ngundang 2 orang baru loh.
Rowdy sudah
Zelsis tuh jago loh. Zelsis tuh jago anjing.
Jago.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what Benkai has to say
Sorot
about
juga
this as well. He's
tua-tua
standing by
gitu.
right now for the Rise
Ya
and Coast
masih
match.
ngeri, bro.
Ngeri bro, Sorot bro.
Thank you so much, Yinsu. Yes, I've got Benkai here with me on the interview
Tapi
stage
udah
to
bukan
talk
prime
about
gitu
the
lah.
match that we just saw go down. Quite a long match. First of all, congratulations on the win. Thanks, man. You're very welcome. Now I want to talk a little bit. We're going to start with the elephant in the room, man. We just saw a game of Pearl to open this up. I wasn't quite expecting to see it this early in the tournament, especially not as a first pick for your opponents. Did that catch you off guard?
Definitely did catch us off guard, just a little bit, but we've been practicing it too, so we kind of have our own game plan going into it, so we weren't that worried, you know.
We could see that some of the ideas in those first couple rounds. We're seeing Jing challenge for A-Long with the blast packs down, really putting Chico on the back foot with the Viper. It was really fun to watch some of the ideas this early game of Pearl, but not everything went according to plan, right? 5-0 down, things are looking a little shaky. You win
Zelsis tuh sempet top 1 Radian loh anjing, Radian juara 1.
You know, at 5-1 calling that timeout, what's going on in the team speak?
The team speak.
The very first timeout was just to our coach telling us to calm the nerves because we were a bit tense. And the second one was kind of just telling us what they're doing and how we can do. So it wasn't.
Discord tuh berat tau, Discord tuh berat Jok.
Timeouts. I think we needed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you say you needed it. You slowed the game down after that, right? We saw Forsaken get back-to-back triple kills, and all of a sudden you went right back into the map, tying it up 5-5, and then tying up the half to close it out. And a really impressive
Discord kan berat emang.
User join your channel.
Nggak, Discord itu berat di... Mereka tuh udah berat overlay, karena mereka udah bukan cuma voice doang, mereka tuh udah kayak sosial media sendiri aja sekarang Discord tuh. Kalau TeamSpeak tuh fokusnya memang bener-bener VoIP doang, makanya mereka bisa lebih low latency lagi.
The concept is still gonna be the same. So we're still gonna follow the game plan that we.
Kalau lu fokus VoIP doang, lu bisa lebih maksimal latensinya. Valorant Indo jago tim yang mana? Boom sama Onyx tuh gila anjing, pas kemarin battle itu seru banget.
Dua tim itu gila emang.
Sayangnya cuma bisa keambil satu anjing.
Dari Challenger kemarin juga ngeri itu 2 orang tuh.
Maksudnya mereka tuh nih Boom itu menang lawan Onyx. Onyx itu menang lawan AE. AE itu menang lawan Boom. Itu segitiga bermuda anjing. Sayangnya cuma satu aja, jadi Boom doang. Anjir Kaisang, bukan Kaisang ini.
weren't ready for a lot of the things that they did.
Blok buat anjing.
It's just what it is sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, look, these guys.
Tadi ada wawancara sama Jason di stream Indo. Oh.
For this team as well, coming in showing that level of firepower against you guys, having just been in the finals, I think that must have caught pretty much everyone off guard. Just to finish up here, is this the EDG that you expected? Because coming into today, I saw a 2-0 writing on the walls, and this was an incredible game. Are they a team?
Yang mirip Aska tuh ini, Cok. Coachnya mereka si Alex.
Anjing mirip Aska.
Asli Vin, coba lu buka foto si Alex tuh dari samping lu lihat Aska banget deh.
Kalau buka baju mirip gak?
Enggak dong. Yang sebelah Terminator soalnya itu.
Yang sebelah buka baju Iron Man.
So I want to ask you, ahead of that game, who do you think you're playing tomorrow?
EMEA beat us the last tournament, and the LATAM region always showed us a lot of support. They love us, so I'm gonna say Leviathan.
Oh, okay, all right. That hurt my heart a little bit, but it's okay. With that, we'll end this interview. Thank you so much for coming over to the stage, Benkai. Congratulations on your victory, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, back over to the desk, guys.
Ini Benkai mirip Coki udah berhenti nyabu.
Anjir.
Nah, ikutan.
Anjir banget emang nih bocah ya, Wejo bangsat.
Gua sengaja nggak baca.
For just $30. I've already told everyone.
Wait, did you say Verizon for just $30?
It's their best unlimited price ever.
$30? That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's from the most reliable 5G network in America.
For $30 a line, I'm switching now.
Yeah, it's easy. And you get $960 when you switch the whole family.
Oh, wow. I gotta let my buddies know.
We're already here.
The network you want, the price you love, only from Verizon.
Oh, InZone tuh punya sound. Mau nyelesain utang, lu jangan open request dong.
Enggak, gua nggak open. Enggak, ada sih.
Ya udah.
Tapi gua
gimana caranya lu nggak open tapi naik goblok?
Iya.
Lu kalau mau nyelesain utang udah lu bener nggak usah pada request, lu nyelesain utang aja.
Nggak apa, ini udah kayak sabetan bang, tapi FM.
Emang nggak niat nyelesain utang berarti guys itu guys, dia cuma uang kalian dong tuh mau diperes sama dia doang.
Enggak goblok.
Lah, ya kalau niatnya nyelesain utang, gak open request lah.
Ya kalau gue pernah nggak open request tapi ada yang donate gede kan gue nggak enak kagak dimasukin ke request. Gue nanya ini mau dimasukin apa enggak? Ya. Katanya masukin. Ya gue nggak enak lah gue masukin.
Ya lu nanya kan jelas-jelas.
Ya kan
lu
gue
nanya.
nggak enak
ya?
di donate gede. Nggak enak gak dimasukin gue lagi FM.
Orang
gitu
jualan
loh,
kalau nggak enak nggak bisa kaya bro.
Ya kan.
Oh iya
ya.
kan lu udah kaya ya, lupa gue, lu nggak butuh duit.
Amin.
Sorry.
Makasih doa ya bang.
Yoi.
Welcome back to Valorant Champions. We showed you a giga banger to kick the day off, and it's
Pak lah mulai
another
kau.
one from the same group, Team Liquid versus Leviathan. And my analysts look a little bit different now. I think Mimi's had a haircut. I got Ryan and Jess.
Jam berapa? Satu map.
Mimi needs a ball buff. I think it'd suit her pretty well overall. Just go straight in there with that.
She's already too powerful. I don't think we need to give her
like
another
Infinity
buff.
Gauntlets, like just the meme game, Zoomer, Bald. The whole lot, yeah.
And Jess, welcome back as well.
Thank you. It's good to be back for another Champions. I was here, almost a year ago, and now I get to be back with, some really big powerhouses of the world. You guys know I'm addicted to international play, so every event feels really, really important to me.
Speaking of being back, Team Liquid, they missed out on Copenhagen, but they are back now. They made it all the way here to Champions. And Ryan, we like to joke about LCQ being the Team Liquid Champions qualifiers, and it's kind of true. They win LCQ back to back.
Yeah, it's also a little bit weirder, I guess, this year overall, because last year it was Devera coming into the team and they went on this nice honeymoon period. This time it's not only a new player with Dimisic, they've got a new coach as well with Emil, so it was a pretty good run from them overall. They did lose a series against Meg, but they beat him in the grand final after bouncing back, and we saw a lot of high potential for this team, which seems to be the common theme with this Liquid squad.
Yeah, and when it comes to Team Liquid, we talk about their placements at LCQ, but if we take a look at their placements overall, Jess, talk me through what you see here.
I mean, the reason we wanted to bring this up is that sometimes they're even not meant to be there, but they place pretty decently considering the fact that maybe there's been some handouts. We saw the VNN news earlier from you guys, and you pointed out sometimes they get a bit of handouts, but they make it work and they make at least a little bit of a dent in the competition. Look back at Champions. That's the kind of thing I wanted to ring back on. That's something they're going to have to pull out of the bag here. And we heard in the press conference, Xtreem said they have evolved. They're way better than they were a year ago. So if they're better than third, fourth, what does that mean for them now? I mean, obviously the competition's tougher, but we have some questions to ask about that.
Yeah, I mean, they have the potential to make that third, fourth, maybe even a higher placement again if one man on their team can continue his performances he has at LCQ. And Ryan, it feels weird at this point to introduce him, but Xtreem, he good at Pew Pew.
Yeah, he's very good at Pew Pew. It's also the fact that he's changed over his role a little bit more, not only to be on more entry roles where he used to be like a Sage player way back when, now he's on those duelists. He's also IGLing for the squad as well. Reykjavik was a stand-up performance. I think it was top ACS out of the whole event, right? An event that Liquid realistically shouldn't have been at in the first place. However, LCQ, it looked very decent from him, and in that grand final alone, had some insane performances against Mech on various different agents that we've not seen much of him.
There is no one in the entire tournament that has the same percentage of first kills that Xtreem does. Alpha is close. I mean, we're not surprised the Turkish fans would be very happy, but this is a guy that gets into an insane amount of first kills, and that's something that is a little strange because people might not believe what I'm just about to say. He's the IGL for the team. Leading from the front is very unusual in TAC FPS. Not something that we
Bang, kau nonton satu map doang. Iya, satu map doang aku, guys. Aku kalau nonton sampai habis bisa tepar aku besok. Mendingan besok kita nonton dari awal sampai habis tuh. Dari jam 7 pagi gua streaming watch party aja besok. Kalau gua niat siang gua streaming DBD. Gua pasti main DBD, cuma nggak tahu gua streamingin apa enggak.
We don't know what they do, Jess. We know what they do, and what they do is a great show that they put on for us to watch.
You know what? I am very confident saying this.
Xtreem di Valo performanya menurutku nggak segokil pas zaman zaman ya kan itu pengaruh umur dan pengaruh dia baru terjun juga setahu gua kan di Valo Xtreem. Dia belum lama gitu maksudnya.
Pernah di game sebelah.
Iya, makanya maksudnya dia ngomong performanya di Valorant nggak sebagus di sebelah. Karena dia di game Valo masih baru. Kalau game sebelah mah udah berapa tahun anjir.
Ayo kita lihat map apa nih.
Ascent. Leviathan win rate-nya di Ascent 100%. Besok pagi kah? Enggak, besok malam, jam 7 malam. Jam 7 malam.
It won over a lot of people overall. This was the final map in the best of 3. It goes to a super long overtime. There was the Enzo clutch. There was the Boast of 4K with the Astra up. It was a great series, but it's all about like closing it out, showing not only are they the best maybe in LATAM.
Tapi yang bawa Liquid ke Champion Xtreem. Nah ya udah tuh kan udah tahu.
There's a chance for Leviathan to be the best team in that continent.
Yeah, look, I'm really confident. I don't think people will fight me on this and say they could be the dark horse of the tournament. You know, Ascent, having one map in your map pool isn't enough. I will say there's huge map pool concerns, but there are players like Taco, the Chambermain, the really flashy sniper of the team, who has some of the largest amounts of tour de force usage of any chamber player in the world, and then Verso, a nice little middleman, that supporty player right behind him. I know there's many other players in the roster, but these are two I like to watch from Copenhagen who really stood up on land.
Sure, like Taco is going to be the household name, but I think at Verso, I think Sachin described him as like a safe pair of hands, which I think is such a nice description of what this player is able to do, especially when he was on the Viper on this map. I think
Nih, ini replay highlight waktu master ya.
Kayaknya sih.
Jujur gue nggak tahu sih guys Leviathan tuh siapa aja. Kayak gue pertama kali denger tim Leviathan. Jadi ya.
Want to see more of and appreciate more.
I like the way you said that, you know, they are the dark horses, because even if they do end up beating Team Liquid today, which I think on paper people might still favor Liquid, they've been together for longer, they have, you know, more resources in their region and so on. I don't know if I could call it an upset if they are able to win. I don't know. I don't think it's an upset anymore given what they managed to achieve last time.
I absolutely agree. I think I'm going to put it as a slight upset. I have predicted Leviathan. I'm going to be honest, I predicted them. But that's because I think if they play one of their best games today, they will come out and they will beat Liquid. But that is what it's going to take. Because in previous series, we have Copenhagen to go back on.
Udah nggak dulu lagi.
Out of 9
Umur
of the
sangat
maps they
tua.
played, almost
Udah
half of them, they
dulu.
went to overtime on the maps. Now, they struggle closing out maps.
Mungkin iya, tapi performa dia waktu kemarin di LCQ itu bagus aja.
So I am worried in that department. I think it actually would be upset if they won maps.
Sebenarnya secara technical individual skill players ya, tim Sentinel itu sebenarnya bagus. Cuma itulah yang kita kadang nggak bisa nilai dari performa individual ya. Sinergi tim tuh penting juga gitu. Mungkin karena Shroud itu belum dapat chemistry-nya terlalu cepet. Dia kan mepet tuh ya direkrutnya kan, kayak cuma berapa sih 2 minggu lah dia palingan di bootcamp gitu. Jadi belum dapat chemistry-nya gitu.
Wajar, roster baru emang wajar.
Wajar. Dan ini bener kayak si Tejo bilang tadi, champion curse juga guys. Kayak gara-gara mereka tuh champion, semua tim itu mempelajari teknik mereka.
Obviously, Leviathan, they love Ascent. I think they've proven themselves as one of the best Ascent teams. Liquid also kind of love Ascent. Do you think Liquid will be brave enough to just
yang pas
let
mereka juara
Leviathan
champion
have Ascent?
I think so.
Itu bener-bener gak ada lawan anjir.
Gak ada, mereka benar ngebantai semua orang anjir.
Setelah habis mereka menang kan langsung tuh naik turun tuh performanya tuh.
Oh, that's interesting. They win the game after that. Oh, there's some legs to it. And then the third time they just get completely anti-stratted and everything.
Umur berapa sih? 29 kan?
Because Leviathan could sit at home and go, okay, they like to play Phoenix. Probably going to do it again. What's our response to that? And they play like triple initiator and stuff like that. Like it's interesting to see Leviathan. They should be coming in solely prepped, especially with Owner as a coach. But Team Liquid could just punch him in the face and suddenly all out the window kind of vibe.
It's super micro-stylistic differences as well. I mean, a lot of this, I think, you know, a lot of people said Leviathan, they're really aggressive, they're like crew. I didn't agree with that statement. I thought they played a lot of mid to late round in a longer kind of FPS X-style kind of thing.
Xtreem
like,
mereka waktu
I think they have a lot more in the long game in the round. But we have to remember, Taco likes to take long-range engagements. What is a Phoenix good at? Short-range engagements. So Scream has to be able to make up that distance if he wants to take Taco on these first bloods that we were talking about earlier on. If you got a Phoenix v Chamber, for example, want to throw that on the board, he is going to have to work out how he is going to position himself on the map to force those engagements. Otherwise, Taco will always come out on top in these long-range engagements. He's the one that tries to sort of dictate the pace when it comes to those engagements. I want to see what it looks like. I don't know how it's going to be. I think a lot of it will come down to these supportive players we spoke about before, having the utility to set some of these star players up on their team. Those are actually the ones that will make and break for Taco, for Scream, for example. That'll be the make or break, not the players themselves.
Okay, here's my follow-up question then, because you both pointed out the gaps in Leviathan's map pool. Not the strongest in this tournament if we just look at statistically. So surely if you're Team Liquid, you don't let them play their best map because you know you can probably poke some holes.
Ngomongin umur, lihat tuh NG1 pas final kemarin gimana FPX mainnya kayak orang gila padahal umurnya 32 tahun. Iya emang kalau main game-game ginian tuh selama lu masih main terus, skill lu tuh bisa diasah, nggak tergantung umur. Cuma yang paling penting tuh sinergi tim, guys. Karena kalau kita ngomongin adu aiming, mereka semua tuh aimingnya udah dewa-dewa. Tinggal gimana caranya performance tim mereka secara keseluruhan bisa ngalahin performance tim keseluruhan tim lain gitu loh. Sinergi, chemistry itu penting. Cepatnya sampai champion kelar. Nggak tiap hari. Besok gue nonton karena boom. Mungkin lusa gue skip dulu. Nggak tiap hari gue.
Nggak ditunjukin lawan siapanya. Nama itunya di player. Bulan lalu tuh yang pertama kali ini dia join tuh.
Ashrat join.
Wah itu sih bukan manusia itu yang main.
Iya abang-abang mantap nih kita lihat nih.
Well, speaking of maps, it's time for us to dive into the map Vitos and send this over to the stage.
Lu dari mana Jok? Ketawa-ketawa ngilang Jok.
Dari Discord teman gua.
Well, you guys have already set the stage up in terms of Ascent possibly being the one to come out.
Bikin stage kayak gini berapa ya?
I think it's somewhat more straightforward with these two teams.
Sekarang lebih kayaknya nolnya.
If we see Fracture, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, I don't think they've had enough time. Yeah,
nggak mungkin dong.
Ini kan udah stats untuk permanen.
Agak Ton. Kan mereka pindah-pindah negara Ton.
Iya maksudnya setiap negara tuh
udah disediain tempatnya.
Iya, nggak hanya Valorant, nanti bisa ada CSGO atau apa bisa di sini. Iya, kayak ballroom gitu.
Tapi layoutnya berubah Ton.
Nggak nih masang kayak.
Iya. Ini tuh
World LOL atau apa itu masang.
Iya masang.
Masang apa namanya bilangnya nih? Bukan.
Ini di mana? Negara apa?
Istanbul, Turki.
Berarti kayak model, cuman ya bener sih kata Asta, tempatnya udah ada.
Tempatnya udah ada.
Ballroomnya udah ada. Cuman paling
mereka desainnya lagi. Ya, nah itu desain ini kan desainnya keren itu maksud gua anjing. Ini mahal kan. Tapi nggak mungkin sampai $1 juta sih. Kalau price pool mereka $1 juta.
Cuman kan kayak misalnya mereka all in di awal kan bisa dipakai terus.
Iya.
Wow. Surprise Pikachu face. Literally did
sampai lepasin lagi.
Biasanya kayak gini bukannya sewa biasanya kayak gini.
Sewa lah, nggak mungkin beli lah.
Maksudnya bukan tempatnya sewa plasma-plasmanya loh.
Oh iya pasti. Nggak mungkin beli toh, nggak mungkin beli Jok. Ini kan mereka kerja sama pemerintahan di Turkinya.
Iya, pasti nyari yang
bisa masang kayak
di daerah apa di daerah-daerahnya
segala macam.
Iya, dari IO-nya lah ini yang bantuin.
I feel like they are one of those teams that could just have that prep by now. They have a new coach, like spoke up. So
masih pakai plasma nggak sih kayak zaman dulu?
Kayaknya enggak deh.
Kalau di Indo ballroom kayak gini di mana ya?
Di
Balai Kartini ada.
Balai Sarbini, Balai Kartini.
Di Ice.
Kegedean goblok.
Di Sentul.
Ice enggak sih, Ice bisa sih. Karena Ice kan banyak.
Ice kan
banyak
foto-foto.
Iya, banyak bilik dia.
Sentul juga bisa
keluar.
Sentul.
Berarti kayak ini yang buat kayak ballroom kayak bisa buat fashion show.
Iya. Kayak PRG kemarin kali itu.
Yang PB kemarin 2016 kan di itu, Balai Kartini.
Oh, Balai Sarbini ya bisa yang Indonesian Idol gitu kan tengahnya bulat juga.
Bisa.
Iya. Kapan ya? Di Indo.
Latihan itu Singapura.
Batanya tiketnya udah habis.
Itu kan udah dibeli calo semua, Bang.
Realistically, for both these squads, if they want to go on that dark horse run, their map pool needs to be a lot better than what we've seen for both sides. More on the side of Leviathan, but Liquid's map pool wasn't exactly stellar.
Apa yang di ban, apa yang di pick?
The trouble with this
Tahu.
right now, ladies and gentlemen, is that they will have played Haven as Ryan
Nggak lihat gue.
pointed out. They've already won it
Ada
before.
Twitch drop ya?
Ada Twitch drop.
And then of course buying that
Kok gue belum dapet ya?
giga banger of
Title.
overtimes
Belum
against
dapet.
Fnatic.
Coba gue refresh dulu guys. Belum dapet. Gue udah nonton 3
Already
jam.
kind of know. Sent great for them. Let's say they
Gue
win
udah
it.
dapet
If they
Fire,
win Haven,
Little
they
Fire.
don't win Haven, it's close.
Kalau spray sama hero card kan ini dapatnya nonton 16 sama 18.
Oh, ini gue baru muncul anjing.
Well, just maybe they will
Dari
show
tadi gue
something
belum
new.
muncul deh, besok lah.
Who knows? We're gonna take a step away for just a minute, but do not go anywhere. Agent select is on the way.
Kok chatnya
Ini
nggak ada sih?
enaknya Twitch ya, ada Twitch drop.
YouTube nggak bakal bisa sih pakai drop-dropan gitu. Ribet hanya bikinnya itu.
YouTube ada drop key
Synchronize countnya susah cuy.
di Overwatch.
Gimana tuh?
Overwatch 2 kan bagi-bagi key yang kedua kalinya di YouTube pas lagi turnamen, streaming turnamen.
Oh iya.
Key-nya kan, tapi bukan inside game-nya.
Iya, nggak kayak li bagi-bagi key-nya maksudnya kayak di Opera aja gitu kan, lewat chat gitu kan.
Enggak.
Fitur kayak gini, drops gini.
Nanti lu dikirimin email jadi lu
Ah
connect.
iya, lu dikirimin email, itu third party udah. Kalau Twitch drop
kalau
ini kan
ini-
integrasi.
Iya,
Langsung
jadi
dia.
integrate apalagi barang-barangnya yang dikasih Twitch drop biasa langsung masuk ke account lo.
Iya, nggak beda-beda. Kalau itu third party.
Barang-barang in-game lagi.
Itu udah API integration ya guys ya.
Nggak nanya si Melda lu, habisin
Ya,
aja.
sorry dah.
Itu yang ngebedain Twitch sama YouTube sampai sekarang masih itu. Nggak bisa dicepetin yang anak tuh penasaran, nggak bisa Icil. Ini udah mau mulai kok nih, udah band pick. Abis ini lah, abis iklan-iklan ini lah.
Habis iklan ini langsung mulai.
Wih ada boom tadi gue liat.
Bangga banget gue melihat logo tim Indo di situ.
Bangga banget deh. Ini pertama kali anjing boom sih, lagi naik-naiknya ini.
Parah.
Saham
Indo
Stong.
semua ya?
Boom Indo semua ya.
Masalahnya boom tuh masuk semua.
Masuk
Lagi
semua.
tahunnya boom ini.
Iya, lagi masuk semua major turnamen dia anjing.
Siapa aja sih yang jago?
Boom, jago semua bang.
Ya.
Ceder jago dibilang.
Nggak pentolan ya, pasti ada dong.
Apa di boom?
Nggak ada sih, gue ngeliatnya mereka rata sih.
Balance kita.
Balance.
Sebelumnya yang dulu ya berasa ada beda-bedanya.
Duelisnya deh siapa? Duelisnya.
Duelisnya Berserk.
Iya, yang satu buncit, yang satu, aduh kamehameha.
Adverse.
Siap, sofa banget lu ya. Nah,
logonya keren juga Leviathan. Anjay. Xtreem.
Ini dia babang kita
Xtreem.
nih.
Iya nih.
King banget deh, siap babang King. Duelist famous.
Gak tau PUBG M-nya Boom masuk ini juga nggak?
Masuk kayaknya deh.
TI dia masuk kan, Dota?
Masuk.
Gila masuk semua ya, Boom ya.
Lagi tahunnya.
Lagi tahunnya boom ini.
Lagi setong.
Saham Stong. Itu CEO lagi full senyum itu.
Iya.
Tapi dia puasanya udah berapa lama anjir?
Tapi ini sejarah tim Indo pertama, Cok.
Oh iya, memang.
Mereka break history ini di Indo. Biasanya itu cuma si gitu-gitu doang. Kalau World tuh ini pertama kali tim Indo ada yang bisa masuk World.
Dia bisa minor. Hancur aja jarang.
Anjay, coachnya botak.
Well, well. Group A has already proven to be a
Oke,
pretty
ini
tough
seru
place
juga
to
nih.
be.
Bule lawan
It's time
bule
to
nih.
see if either Team Liquid and Leviathan
Bule
have
lawan
the next to
bule.
Tadi kan Asia lawan Asia. Ini bule lawan bule.
Bener
sih. Terkenal nih dua-duanya.
Tim Liquid terkenal lah.
Liquid terkenal, tak?
Terus lo gak tau tim Liquid?
Liquid tuh kayaknya
Dota. Sama CSGO.
Liquid kan kayaknya tim e-sport
Ya,
yang
CSGO juga.
lumayan terbesar deh di dunia deh.
Iya.
Dia dulu zaman siapa ya terkenal banget anjing tim Liquid.
Zamannya Miracle.
Zamannya ini siapa?
Kuroki. I love this split screen also.
Ya, Kuroki Miracle.
That coach for Liquid. He
Soalnya menang 2 kali TI turut-turut kan?
OG itu mah.
He's moonlighting for two teams. One other thing about Owner
Liquid juga, Cuk.
Nggak berturut-turut sekali.
Enggak, dia pernah juara, cuman enggak berturut.
Gak back to back, kalau yang back to back OG.
Yang back to back
OG back to
Ya udah,
back.
lu fans OG diem aja.
Aku hardcore OG fan. Kalau udah lu di ML nggak ada yang ngomong sama lu. Oh, Liquid yang inin sejarah ya, yang 3-0 ya finalnya.
Iya. Lawan newbie.
Ini ada anak Indo kah? Nggak ada. Ini full bule guys.
Full bule.
Nggak ada tim, nggak ada Asia ini full bule ini. Full Caucasian nih,
Adalah
Caucasian.
Ada si Xtreem lah, Xtreem setengah-setengah Xtreem.
Sama Xtreem ada Asianya.
Morocco masih Eropa ya.
Morocco kan Asia ini. Ini pokoknya full Caucasian guys.
Asia bang.
Morocco Asia
kan?
Asia bang.
Asia mana?
Middle East.
Ke Turki.
Turki kan Eropa.
Morocco dekat Turki, Asia gimana sih? Morocco Afrika anjing.
Afrika.
Gua sampai searching anjing.
Dasar gue berasa bego, ternyata Anton yang bego.
Oh iya ya.
Gua sampai searching tak.
Yeah, it should be overall. It's one of the more common comps that we see nowadays, and I think the chamber point is a really good one because both Yampi and Takalia play chamber on.
Mampus udah dikatain.
Turki Asia bang.
Turki itu Asia.
Asia.
Pakai Reja Jo.
Xtreem pakai duelist udah pasti sih, expected. Ini mapnya pertama apa tadi?
Aduh nggak tahu gue liat. Yang di band Fractor kayak. Map anjing Fractor nih ngeselin banget tuh map.
Mendingan Fracture gue dibanding
kan kalau Piala Dunia masuknya kualifikasinya ada di Eropa kan? Bukan
Eurasia sih, Eurasia lebih tepatnya. Saya dia perbatasan gitu tuh.
Oh Heaven mapnya.
Oh Turki separuhnya Asia, separuh Eropa.
Turki separuh Asia, separuh Eropa ya. Eurasia bener.
Perbatasan.
TL nih.
Tapi Istanbulnya Eropa sih. Ini kan di Istanbul.
Ya, Istanbul Eropa.
Kayaknya apaan? Turki sebagian aja. Thank you BMF. Hah?
Mau ke Turki.
Apain cok?
Makan kebab
lo, Turki.
Murah cuy. Turki.
Istanbul ya.
Bukan masalah murah, ngapain?
Naik
cewek Turki lah, apalagi bang.
Iya Vin, bawa pulang cewek Turki Vin.
Wah, cewek Turki tuh.
Lu naik balon udara terus ketemu cewek Turki jadian tembak di balon udara.
Kenapa tuh cewek Turki kenapa tuh?
Stongs banget anjing. Cewek Turki mah.
Anjing emang.
Setara sama Rusia itu.
Yeah, I think that was
Campuran Eropa Asia ya, bagus ya.
Guys, we're happy to be here. That is for goddamn sure.
Hafal banget nih.
With all our fans in the crowd ready.
Gimana sih? Eropa campur-campur Asia gitu. Bah.
We're starting out on Haven in this series. We got
Turki doang tuh.
Haven. Honestly, it could be the decider in this series for how we're going to start it out.
Kasih gaya helikopter lu sama cewek Turki.
Tom, you got a favor coming in?
Dijilin kebab lo tiap hari.
Kebabnya diputer-puter apalagi lu ya kan. Sampai salto lu dibuat.
Heaven lagi. Baru tadi Heaven sebelumnya.
Tapi emang map ini tuh enak Vin sebenarnya.
Iya sih. Gua gak suka map 3 set. Gua selalu suka map 2 set.
Sebagai mantan pemain sebelah, 3 bingung anjir.
Iya, jet lag gua. Wow, udah mulai.
Kena.
Gila, Xtreem langsung dijeder.
Pala hilang.
Boleh juga tuh refleksnya. Wah, gila Leviathan ngeri banget bang.
It is a fairly easy pistol round for Leviathan.
Yep, they had one guy watching walk out of couch. As soon as he falls, the reaction
tangannya belum mantep itu belum.
Jam 1, iya nih anjing. Bilangnya jam 12 mulai. Ini mah besok gua nonton Boom sampai jam 1 lagi nih. Semoga besok Zeta 2-0 deh. Yang enggak ini kelamaan.
Came through. It wasn't just Melser W keying, no brain in it. And with that, Leviathan taking their 1-0. A start to Haven that they certainly will be happy with. This one being Liquid.
Wah, gila smoke-nya. Pas banget.
Picking up the first. They've pushed their opponents down to pistols, but look at what's in play. You have a Headhunter still with 6 bullets left, and everybody else has a Sheriff. When Team Liquid come in with a buy like this, you have to be extremely careful.
Wah, tipis. Ketahuan tuh.
Viewer merhatiin aja ya, viewer ya.
Apaan?
Itu di tim Liquid ada yang namanya Dimas tuh.
Dimasif.
Dimasif.
Anjing emang.
When it's Liquid, you have to be very, very careful in these sort of rounds because they're very good at stealing them away. And actually, interestingly,
wah, takut-takut nih tim Liquid nih. Entry-nya takut-takut nih. Duelisnya nih. Mereka mau main play 4 picks banget, nggak ada yang mau entry.
Belajar dulu bang, belajar dulu. Oh gini timnya.
Ini coach kita nih.
Oh iya,
Xtreem,
one tap. They know my heads.
Waduh. Line up.
Mereka lagi pas kibra, saudara-saudara.
Baris berbaris, situ kita lihat.
Gak bisa ini, mereka udah gak ada entry. Udah gak ada entry-nya. Sisa smoker sama inisiator.
Ini bisa kok, si Fate bisa nge-entry kok.
Pusing.
Kena.
Waduh, gila. Headshotnya enak banget itu. Waduh. Ente. Belum panas nih Liquid nih.
Ini lu perhatiin Corsair placementnya, nggak ada obat anjing.
Calon lawan PRX.
Tadi sih Bengkai udah ngomong ya. Kesehatan sih kayaknya yang menang.
Iya, Bengkai ngomong gitu.
Iya, dia kan ditanya, kira menurut lu siapa nih yang bakal ngadepin PRX di apa nanti? Bilang kesehatan sih dia. Coba ini yang main Joko gimana ya, Vin? Gak mau nonton gua kalau yang main Joko.
Gak bisa gua dibawa tekanan main.
In fact, he's not alone. There are 4 players already pushing all the way deep in towards A long.
Gila. Kasih senapan angin, bos. Wah, buta. Wah. Wah. Gila. Musuh di Heaven anjing. Windows. Kok Shay nggak mau bokong, Shay?
Yeah, and I like the fact that Taco has also just fallen back. He's making sure that they can't push any deeper other than just taking out the C site, and then they'll look to try and almost rotationally play.
Oh, dia mau ngancurin tripwire, tripnya.
Enggak, dia kalau ada yang di situ kelompatan jadi ke samping kiri. Dia bisa lihat.
With the deep control they have over the A site, nobody else really needs to move too much. Again, this round is mostly about damage, but they do have a good chance.
Mantap. Aduh.
Kena tuh tapi ding.
Enggak, orang cuma ngurang 4 damage, 4 HP.
Making some space as his teammates flank up behind all the noise just serves as a distraction.
Ngakak sih, bonus round kalah. Bonus round. Oh alah. Wah. 4-0 udah 4-0. 4-0 udah itu.
Yeah, they are getting pumped up. There might not be many other people in the arena, but I can hear them all the way from up here. And a fantastic round from them. I love the initial gamble of aggression. A lot of it revolved around just Taco being able to slow them down. And that marshal.
Bayangkan rusuhnya bukan di side tapi di window.
A little bit of hesitation, then you have the 4-player push. Fantastic utility coming through from Shy as well. And then just patience. And it was something that Jess actually mentioned on the desk.
Ini
The fact that
Spectre enak banget kalau pala anjir.
Mazini, Kesnet, just basically popping off at all times. This team is very happy to just
Nah, tadi kan anak-anak muda guys ya. Ini abang-abang tua semua di sini. Amerika tuh gak ada anak muda anjir. Baru 20 tahun mana ada. Ini udah 25 nih sumuran gue semua nih.
They need to get themselves back up on that horse.
Tapi itu mudah buat mereka.
Look, Demon 6 got a rifle, but the rest of the team are coming in with pistols. And I believe that's right away going to be Yumpy taken down. He was trying to lurk his way.
Denger gitu dia, dilempar rekon.
Nothing for that. Now, well, they've been spotted up close on A short. So Leviathan are starting to rotate in. Really not a lot going for Liquid at the start of this round.
Wajib.
Berani amat masuknya pakai step.
Makanya maco banget dia bro.
Although there's alert coming through from Xtreem to just try and take a little bit of space.
Kedetect tuh.
Anjing bisa gitu.
Dipantulin pakai secel bang. Tapi tetap kedetect kok kalau udah bunyi gitu dia udah tahu.
And I mean, as this other player comes through, that trap should get a much longer window to detect him, grab the tag, and send the information over. Leviathan playing a smart game. Up against 2 Sheriffs to play right back on the side like this.
Ini play for pick semua nih dia nih. Gak ada yang kayak PRX sama Edward Gaming tadi. Ngerush entry-nya.
Gameplay banget ini.
Gak ada yang berani nge-pick.
Yeah, they just want to make sure the round is cemented.
Nah, ayo Babang Xtreem. Ada Babang Xtreem di kiri semua Babang Xtreem. Oh, play for long mereka. Plan for long. Udah tahu lah ya kalau plan for long mereka ada di mana.
How far forward the majority have gotten. They're going to try and bait them in with the tap. Aftershock again, delaying just that little bit more for the rotation to come through, but there still needs to be some shots connected, and it just isn't going to be happening.
Wah, gila.
Gila
Leviathan, free banget Leviathan.
I have to say, aside from the incredible patience, I'm not a fan of the ultimate being used necessarily, but it just goes to show the immense amount of respect that Leviathan are giving to Team Liquid. Yeah. I think most teams would have went for that 4 versus 2.
Belum panas, positif.
With the showstopper, sure, that does make sense, but you know, you're up against Sheriffs, that's your best chance to just roll them and then use your showstopper here in the impactful round. But look, their ult cycle's coming up online. Taco Lea's got the op here, he's gonna have a tour de force pretty soon as well.
Ini laku banget nih di turnamen sama pro player.
Wah,
gila, berani banget picknya.
Free kill. Nothing they can really do about it. Xtreem was one of the highlight players in the LCQ run that Liquid made, so to get rid of him
itu kena ataupun miss dia TP sih. Jewit, welcome back to Definition Gold, Jewit.
It's clear they're so aware of it on the Leviathan side. They're not giving anything up, and even just throwing down some extra piece of utility, almost just to take that deeper control a little bit easier. Liquid being very tentative. You can see the almost doubt of every corner that they're clearing, that there could be an operator on the other side. Now they're going to speed things up into that C side.
Gak ke-detect.
Well, they've got themselves fully cleared out. The ult into backside shouldn't be challenged, and that's just going to allow them this security.
Mati nih, lu loncat mati lu. Tuh kan. Masih mati.
They've now got a serious foothold to get back into the site. Malser's got his ultimate for information. He can be a recon dart.
Wah, ke-distract. Wah, udah mati. Mati udah.
A great spam to take down Yumpy. Down goes Demon 6. Navarro almost had something going his way, but he needed an ace.
Udah pasti 4-0.
To have a chance, and those are pretty miserable odds.
5-0.
The man's pretty clutch, but I think it's a little bit unfair to expect out of him, but This is looking beautiful. Like every single peak, every single swing. Okay, you have the
lebih keras tadi gameplaynya. Ini 5-0 kayak tadi sih guys, kayak Edward Gaming sama PRX kan 5-0. Wah, Xtreem bingung. Xtreem capek.
And all of the kills that they've had have been tradable or off a piece of utility. It's been a wonderful showing for them, and you're going to see Team Liquid
Vin
take
Diesel
the force
seneng.
Now the reason for that is not only is the 5-0 down, we've seen that earlier in the day, it happens, teams can come back. This is on their map choice. That's a very different story to what we saw with Paper.
Kenapa nih? Teo, ngomong kasar ya di Teo Nightwood deh.
A map where they were 3-0 in the LCQ, won it relatively cleanly against top teams rather than
bener dong positioningnya.
Bener tuh, catat tuh.
Jangan takut-takut.
So it was the clear choice. This is the map where Liquid had more data.
Anton berbicara tuh adik-adik.
What Leviathan had done. So far, it doesn't look like they've been able to pick them apart whatsoever.
Diajarin satu-satu kalian.
Kasih paham Ton. Kasih tahu rank lo apa di Valorant Ton.
Bisa kayak kemarin gue nggak tahu skillnya bang.
Archon.
Dying in some of those early rounds, that this is a consistent factor for their attack.
And Yumpy on 0
and Yumpy. And the difference here, so Xtreem is getting demolished in early duels, right? But it's
Teo itu berapa lama tiap tim dan dikasih berapa kali? Teo itu 30 detik. Tiap tim cuma bisa 2 kali Teo per apa namanya? Per switch. Enggak, per switch.
Oh iya, per switch.
Total 4 satu game. Satu map bisa 4 kali TO. 2-2.
1 menit sih.
Oh, 1 menit ya? Oh, gue pikir 30 detik. Ya mungkin kalau kedua kali jadi 1 menit. 3 kali jadi 5 menit. Enggak gitu ya?
Gitu dong.
Nightbot kan gitu bang, biasanya bang.
Mau kelar sampai jam berapa bang?
Gak tahu.
It's varied as well, because a lot of the time that's just placed into A-long, so teams just dodge it. You can see how passively they're currently holding.
Email kan dulu mantan pro player RRQ. Sejak kapan temen gue mantan pro player RRQ? Gue taunya dia konten kreator. Lu konten kreator lu talent, lu bukan pro player.
Lu nggak tahu.
Bacot. Emang gue nggak tahu karena lu nggak pernah ada, makanya gue nggak tahu.
Babi.
Nggak masuk perhitungan.
Nggak masuk. Gak gue anggap, makanya gue nggak tahu.
Iya, rosternya nggak pernah kelihatan, Mel.
Wah, gue nggak harus bilang dong. Rahasia.
Udah jam 1. Iya guys, tanggung 1 map.
Just trying to stick around a little longer, hoping he can find that initial shot, but instantly a rotation comes through. King pushing mid, may be able to wrap around behind. The only interesting position he's got to clear is Yumpy.
Great read. These guys realize they flash long, they smoke long, they're putting all this utility in, and they've got a rolling thunder. They're setting up for A. Leviathan walk out of the side. We'll play retake, no problem. This isn't retake.
Nice.
No one else was ready. I mean, he wanted to
Nice. Ayo Liquid. Saatnya kembali. Mati itu. Iya kok nggak mati? 15.
Look, he has the tour de force, but he wants that off.
Wah. Diwantap pakai Guardian.
Nih kalau kayak gini.
So much praise for
Siap,
how
coach.
almost regimented and clean everything's been, and then you just see, I think almost every single player either whiff or make a mistake in this round.
Guardian tuh emang senjata kampret ya. Gila. Udah di nerf tapi one tap-nya masih one hit, Jok, masalahnya. Wah, AWP dah lu, dapet dah lu. Ya abis ini kalau mereka kalah, Iko nih. Tim Liquid kalah, Iko nih.
Anjir mainnya tapping serem.
Uduh.
One line, calm down, boys. Just calm down.
Take it easy, you know. We're in the lead. We got some good old.
Scream pasti abis ngambil orb langsung here comes the party. Masih mau ngambil orb nih.
People have actually seen anything here.
Yeah.
They do have a flash.
Kok nggak ngambil? Oh, di popping swing anjing. Wah,
terbit.
Gace corner. Aduh.
This is a stack picked up C-Site early. Great rotational reads by Leviathan and Team Liquid.
Gak bener nih coach.
Terlalu keras nih orang-orang
ya.
ya.
Cek corner coach. Omelin
Gak
coach.
aware loh. Main game begini tidak aware tuh. Mau jadi apa?
Catet adik-adik itu ilmu adik-adik.
Catet adik-adik. Tuh ini gak ngepick. Aduh gak cek corner. Pede banget.
Gue gak ngecek loh. Satu gak apa-apa deh. Ini dua-duanya loh. Wah.
And the fact that you got your breach backside as well, you even see it in the
buy one get one.
Maybe he has a chance. We've seen this guy in the clutch scenarios when the numbers of his team are thinned out. He can step up and have those god tier clutches. But right there, he had absolutely no opportunity for his late round fade.
Percaya nggak lo? King bisa bunuh 2.
I believe.
Percaya nggak lo nih? King bunuh 2 nih, lo lihat nih.
Percaya gue.
Oh nggak jadi.
Bunuh 2, lo lihat nih.
Percaya gue.
Secelnya gagal, cuy dia malah ke tembok. Tititnya hilang bos, itu bos.
By the way ini senjata apaan sih?
Ini ultinya chamber, sniper. Sniper tapi nembaknya lebih cepet, gak ada reload.
Ulti. Oh, ulti langsung dikasih sniper gitu.
Iya, ultinya sniper. Kiri. Wah. Mantap. Oh iya. Pitret.
A bit of trouble. He's alone with an op and there's 3 players about to swing him. Utility coming his way. Down to the headhunter up close. He'll be eliminated right off the bat. Melser should be an expected factor at this point. Snuck past the trap on C-Long, but he could just as easily have pushed B.
Udah lah, udah pasti kalah lah ini mah. Lo muncul mati, tau kan? Muncul dari smoke mati.
Lu nggak main lagi tak Valorant tak?
Nggak bang, soalnya gue nggak pernah cek corner bang.
It's not the greatest counter in the world. It's a bazooka and he knew exactly where you were. So it didn't really get the result I think they were necessarily hoping for. But again, they're still in a position where they can buy. You're going to have that operator in play, not really too much trouble there in terms of the finances, and Liquid is still kind of on the brink. So another round for Leviathan here. They'll already have won the half, and the economy for Liquid will be bad again.
Well, this has been a fantastic beginning. This team stacked up as much as they can be. Leviathan spraying away, trying to catch something. But Melser, a player that's actually
gacor bos, gacor.
Where Leviathan goes down right away. Just as quick. I like the idea. Lost that control of C-Site. You can either fast rotate and give up everything, push down mid and try to make it up elsewhere. It's worked for now.
Jarang sih ada yang sembunyi di situ. Si Xtreem wasted nade-nya itu.
Scream posted up.
Nah ini apa nih? Ulti apaan tuh?
Ngebudekin.
Dia nge-scan sekalian ngebudekin.
Iya. Lu lihat gak ada kayak aura-aura tali-tali gitu kan? Nah itu nge-track. Jadi yang nge-cache tahu bahwa ada orang di situ. Iya. Wah, ayo mulai Xtreem. Aduh, one tap-nya gagal. Udah menang lagi.
As well, if he wants to throw another one out, or not steal, rather earned it back.
Iya, pasti saving AWP mah.
In the end, Taco be struggling to save this up. There's players actually coming for him.
Pasti dicari nih, pasti. Wah, timing dari kanan. Oh enggak, mereka ke C ya. Gue pikir mereka mau nge-push. Dar mati nih, konyol kan. Kena boknya.
You sort of mentioned it. They were both 0 and 5.
Udah smoke-nya anjing banget.
Both players now already coming back. It didn't even have to make it to the second half. And again, now I mentioned it in the last round, the economy of Liquid. Now the pressure's on for Leviathan because they could go from a 5-0 start.
Nah, abis ini kalau menang lagi Liquid, bonus round tuh, enak tuh. Iko.
And it could end even, and that would be heartbreaking.
And they're in a pretty poor spot now, to be honest. Not in terms of the rounds, they've got foundations to build already. They can build a little further, but some of that relies on getting the round right here. Their economy's up against the wall, their ults are not online. They got From the Shadows. Don't know how much help that's going to be. There's a potential for King to get a showstopper, but that's about where the ult story ends for Leviathan. When you look at Team Liquid, though, they're very close to having a Rolling Thunder on Nevera. We saw that they are more than happy to commit a round off of that, to play their strat on that. Now, didn't necessarily get the result expected with Leviathan playing the retake, but then you start to look at some of the other players as well and realize that these guys could have their ultis on any moment now.
Kalau spray lu tarik mouse dari depan sampai belakang juga.
I don't mind this pause whatsoever.
Balik lagi ya, 360 derajat ya.
Yoi. It's powerful, like I feel like if you think back to the days.
Buset, tuh urat pala kelihatan tuh Vin Diesel.
Powerful right now. He might not even need to say anything. It just looks them in the eyes. I already think I'm going to be winning after it just gives me the stare, you know.
Well, to be honest, it's like a mental game, you know. You call that pause, you don't even need to say anything
semua,
because your opponents are now scared. Like, oh no, owner's talking to them. I see his lips moving. He's actually just singing karaoke. That's what you don't know. It's just morale. Yeah. Yeah, he's singing some Britney Spears in the background, and you know what? I love
ngantuk, emang ngantuk gue anjir. Habis ini gue tidur langsung.
Of course, we'll get the coach mics one day.
Already starting to see that.
Hilang
kok nggak ada audionya? Halo.
Nah. He's had some success.
Technical problem, bos.
Nggak nih OP-nya nih keterlaluan nih.
Again, this passive default has
operator
worked at least in a couple of the rounds,
untuk
but it
bos dia
doesn't
juga.
Mana ada anjing, mereka di sana masih jam berapa? Siang kali. Oh, begadang ya, begadang sebenarnya nyiapin begadang. Ngantuk.
He can spot that nobody's crossed just yet.
Mati.
Aduh, that was close. Taco Leah.
Ketek
It's
dong.
Demasic to 29 health. But
Nalo, panik lu.
As far away, but
oh,
they
dapat
might
tuh.
be punished. Oh, that blast back in. Xtreem had an angle for a fraction of a second, but not enough to find Taco Leah. With that, the plant at least comes through.
Katanya Taco Leah AWP-nya selalu guri-guri-nyoy.
That off of Taco Leah has a challenger in the form of Yumpy.
Taco
And
Leah.
although they've spotted the up, they don't know where it is right now, and that's going to be a big concern in getting back in here.
Yeah, and the problem is, you mentioned earlier, ultimates are just not there.
Wah.
Salah lu lompatin kayak gitu, bro.
He's not even really being cleared off his angle, just standing in the open, fighting.
Nggak salah sih, dia mau ngecek under heaven.
Dia mau ngecek under sih.
Iya, nggak salah. Cuma nggak ada yang jaga di situ aja. Gila.
And Shy just cleans it up. This round was looking done in Liquid's favor. Normally a team so good in those after plants.
13-3 lah buruan lah.
I'm pretty sure I lip read play a retake on
Jadi
Owner.
4 jam doang.
So I don't know.
Posisinya lagi menang tadi.
That is incredible. And another
Oh, dari malam ya, 4 jam ya. 4 jam lebih lambat kan? Berarti sekarang mereka jam berapa?
This is a bit ridiculous.
Jam 8, 10, 9. 4 jam.
If you look back to previous events, I would say statistically he was like top 3 within Astro.
Waduh, enrooted.
Like Marv. So like
nggak ada tatonya dia.
Pretty damn good. I think also like Marco had some pretty solid play as well. You also have Mind Freak.
Waduh, heboh banget tuh utility core semua awal-awal. Aduh, buta gaming. Buset.
That's Taco Leah out of the game, but he managed to trade out Scream's life for it.
Mati nih Dimas nih. Mati Dimas.
Iya. As easy as can be for Adverso. The advantage comes back into the defender's hands and a showstopper's on its way. Yuppie's got it.
Showstopper di cancel anjing.
They're right back in the round and Nevera's double down. 3 versus 2. The advantage for Liquid.
Oh. Ngeri. Showstopper di cancel.
Impact that we wanted to see from him, and especially on that attacking side, it's a lot harder to do. But you're just seeing him take space where maybe he necessarily shouldn't in most cases, but that's always been Yumpy's ability to just win them rounds out of absolutely nothing. The confidence to just sit and wait for King to swing the angle.
Itu satisfying banget anjing kalau ngebunuh Showstopper tuh.
And now the economy's actually not fantastic.
Waduh.
You're coming in with, okay, rifle, stinger, rifle.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know, your Fade should be the last guy peeking anyways, so it's all good. We've seen Enzo's stats. You know that guy doesn't die first. Once he has it. Swinging from Scream. Great opening duel with Melser down. Key player. The man gone. Now the retake for Leviathan. What do they base it off of? No ultimates to work with. Nothing to really help them out. Sees Nate could be online. You got all of your breach utility. That's the benefit of losing the site so quickly. That was a little awkward. Nevera getting a nade down on him. He's got to run.
Wah, flicknya anjing.
And he'll lose his life.
Flicknya loh, mantap. Waduh, buta lah semua dah.
It just seems to fall apart for them. It's all left on to Soulcast. He's going to try and play this in that 1 versus 4 turn 3. Already getting dinged up, swinging this angle should make things
time out.
At least manages to get one, but what are these retakes coming out from Leviathan?
Plan defend dong, jangan
kayak in solid position, and the rounds just slip away.
Gimana sih, bukan post plan ya, malah nge-push loh.
Posisi lu kalah.
Harus respect dong sama musuh.
Nah,
sih kalian.
Oh, finisher tuh, gila.
But
Vin Diesel mantap banget.
As much as I expect Team Liquid to bounce back on defense, I expect Leviathan on the attack to do some serious damage. I might not be the only one suspecting that. Let's see what our analyst desk thinks.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Mitch and Tom. I'm back here with Jess and Ryan. Ryan, that was not a Leviathan's map choice.
Bodoh nih mereka nih.
Defense.
Oh, they look so
posisinya kalah.
Gokil. Dikatain bodoh guys, tim Liquid teman.
Posisinya menang sih nggak apa.
Coach Anton nih.
Go up against King.
Gila Coach Anton emang.
Overall, I think it's one of those ones where Xtreem died so often in those early rounds. It was hard to. Maybe he was taking a lead.
Gila jauh banget ACS.
Like, just die early so he can watch everybody in IGL from the dead. Like that could work. But King
gayanya sama.
Absolutely.
Gayanya sama, gue baru sadar.
A lot of the time as well. It was really strange. They had a lot of different options for a lot of their players. Although you see this head-to-head between King and Xtreem both playing the exact same agent, you have to remember that
Jason Statham jadi coach Leviathan.
Xtreem was being shut down by Taco. These long-range engagements that Xtreem couldn't close the distance, and the times that he
did. Jadi solusinya gimana Coach Anton tadi harusnya mereka ngapain nih?
Itu harusnya mereka nggak mencar, Bang. Harusnya mereka saling nge-backup. Tapi jangan terlalu di dalam, di pinggir side-nya aja.
Anjay.
In case kan kalau ada kayak di flash segala macem. Angle dijaga, angle itu terlalu.
Yeah, it's also like Mitch said it himself. Like this is where Yampy could come online, but for Liquid on their
defense, tipe-tipe analis banget dia nih.
Plantingnya di mana, defense-nya di mana gitu. Itu salah.
Siap Coach.
Koordinasinya kurang nih.
Thank you so much, Analyst Desk. 8-4 as we dive back into things. Round 13 about to kick off, and this pistol could carry a lot of weight. As we stated, Team Liquid, they didn't do too well in the start of the previous half. Now on their defense, though, those rounds are a requisite. Leviathan get off to a strong start, build up that snowball.
Lihat nih, apakah
going downhill pretty quickly. Diva sick. Oh, he's got the whole team here. One kill and
nggak di backup sama temennya bang. Xtreem, kamu kenapa nggak backup dia Xtreem? Jadi di trade loh. Bisa itu orang dia main jauh. Waduh kena loh 50 loh.
I think Scream's just spotted them rotating away, so he can now actually push off the back of this, taking that space back.
Dijagain ya sama Melser. Kalau mau nge-push Cilong.
It's actually looking like a pretty good spot for Liquid at the moment. The only reliance will be that Jumpy hits a shot and
kamu rotate ke A tapi udah dijagain sama Jumpy. Ayo Jumpy.
With a minute left on the clock.
Oh, mereka mau masuk 30 detik terakhir nih, yakin gue. Nice TP.
Oh, the Prowler usage here. It was wise. Melser had laid a
little
trap
di
for
bait.
They won't go stumbling into it on the
Mereka
push
jadi
down
nge-push
C
B.
bomb. So this was aggression on A to bait the C push and then punish. They don't get that. Reset to the B plan. If you'll excuse that. As they go to the B side for the plan.
Yeah, initially they did have
mereka telong sih?
It gives that extra space for free.
Halo?
You can see those Soulcast already waiting to almost watch if anybody's going to try and wrap around the backlines. The B plant is never the easiest to defend, but they did manage to get rid of Dima Sick, which removes all of those smokes, which definitely helps you out when it gets onto that defusal. Shy looking away, but he's trying to actually pull out utility. This might be a problem. This gives some space to Soulcast to swing, but he's only going to get the one.
That's all it is for now.
They got it hard.
It's already halfway indeed, and some damage done though. Stickiness has to be Yuppie, and he'll take the headshot right away. 9 rounds for Leviathan.
Gila.
And a nail in the coffin
Nice
for
cross.
Team Liquid
Nice
if this
cross.
keeps up. They cannot afford to have a slow start to the defense, and I don't know that it's even an option at this point. The full buy
Nyokap gue udah masuk nih, belum tidur.
they could possibly wish for. Meanwhile, Team Liquid relegated down to just
Aman
those
aja.
pistols yet again.
Aman.
Strong post plan for them here. I mean, ultimately coming down to time and the players that they deleted. If you have something to block off vision there, perhaps get a smoke down.
Gangnam Style di sini dong.
Kayak TikTok tuh.
No chance with them wide in the open. Great start for Leviathan. In the second round, as I said, should be clean.
Nah, mereka udah mulai agresif nih. Leviathan udah mulai agresif nih. Leviathan attacking-nya lebih agresif dari TL. Ayo dong, kok.
I think the most important thing here really is that Liquid need to try and pull out their own round. Because we were talking about comebacks, we were talking about the fact
Map 2 kayaknya lebih anjing lagi mereka mainnya nih.
Pop off and like those star players
Map 2 di
almost
ascend
get
nih.
back to the point where they're performing to the heights we expect of them. I feel like so far this game though, they've almost been outplayed and a lot of their rounds have been blips on the radar. Okay, a few silly, I guess, afterplants from them. Like I feel like there's at least 2 rounds
gameplaynya
like
pada hold satu sama lain.
Even with some of the weaker weapon retakes coming through. But at this stage, I don't think that's really going to be enough. They need something early, because otherwise you're allowing Leviathan to get to double digits.
Bajunya kena.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to slip.
Kayak baju Melser dah. Kenapa ya? Kayak flickering gitu baju Melser. Kayak green screen anjing.
Looked similar, but the reality is this is a different team, a much stronger one.
Ayo King, pakai bumbot lu. Pantulin kiri.
Gak ada bumbotnya. Gak ada bumbotnya.
Oh dia nggak beli? Nggak boleh dipakai?
Nggak beli. Mati tuh.
Mati, nice. Anjing emang. Wah. 2 orang mati sama utility gitu, bos. GG sih ini Leviathan menang ini.
Yeah, the gaps they're pretty clear.
Jampi lagi Iko ya kan.
Without too many issues at all. And, well, it would have been. I feel like Yuppie's almost sat there going, "Am I gonna win? I'll just wait this one out and just see. Maybe they don't plant. Maybe this will be the greatest clutch of all time with nobody killing me."
Udah lah, bye bye. Masuk bertiga nih.
A flawless round coming out of then. In fact, a prime gaming flawless round out of the side of Leviathan. And honestly, it was now or never, Liquid. It's now or never. Like this is
Iya benar, ini now or never benar. Lo kalau ini kalah lagi, GG lo. Ini last chance-nya nih buat di map ini nih. Mereka buy soalnya. Kalau mereka kalah lagi, dah. GG. 12. Bahkan ini mereka force buy anjir, beli Guardian. Ya, TO.
They're pretty close to Rolling Thunder. They're gonna have it coming out of this round if they don't get it and use it.
Teonya ada banyak bahasanya.
Iya, kan internasional, Bang.
I mean, at this point, it really is Team Liquid on their last
legs. Bahasa Inggris bukan bahasa internasional, Bang.
Maksudnya kan yang partisipasi gak cuma Eropa, Amerika. Harus begitu. Timeout bahasa Indonesianya apa ya?
Istirahat, Bang.
Enggak dong. Time out tuh kan Tamdung Trandau.
Waktu habis, Bang.
Agak. Time out, waktu berhenti.
Habis.
Terima. Jeda waktu. Oh, jeda waktu.
Map picks can swing either way. We see it all the time. But I think Team Liquid will be sat there thinking, man, this could have been a breeze. Literally.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's truly awful. Yeah. Well,
waktunya keluar kayak gitu.
Even the purchases coming up here for Liquid.
Waktunya pulang, time out.
Jangan
tadi time out tadi bilang, oke guys, next map kata coachnya. Next map.
A buy round and a do or die round as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Tuh kan, mereka force buy ini, si Xtreem aja half armor sama Guardian. Ini all in ini. Iya, makanya mereka ada all in aja ini.
Mantap. He was not letting them have any space whatsoever, and that's left
Boomnya di dalam lagi.
free as can be. All of Team Liquid coming into this site now to hold it down. And Leviathan don't have any extra angles. They don't have any superior flanks. Instead, they get cleaned up in a Prime Gaming flawless.
Mereka selamat.
Just the start that you want if you're looking to make a massive comeback.
Yeah, solid round from them.
Belum. Mereka masih miskin. Mereka tadi force buy. Mereka harus menang sekali lagi baru aman.
I'll be honest, of all the agents I think we've seen him play, Breach is the one I'm still least sure about. I don't think he is able to put the same statistical numbers we've seen on other agents. Like, we know that he also has a fantastic chamber, but even just when you go back to more traditional Sentinels, I feel like that's where he still really shines.
Bot frag anjing.
I'm waiting to see if
tadi dia gagal terus.
Bencana digadik kalau udah bot frag gini digadik.
We're not seeing the blitz into B and try to plant with Taco Leah. Instead, they are fighting Yumpy in the garage. He's got a boom bot down to 17 HP.
Disecel nih, percaya nggak tuh disecel?
And there are plenty of guns pointed
at. Ada nggak sih secel?
Give up that control, conceded, and fall back to C. That garage is being taken out of their control. They still have a trap there though, so the information remains
masih ada satu secel.
And indeed, for so long as Yumpy remains, he was pushing down C long, but it's to get the same position we've seen before.
It's almost just it's a one and done, but that's fine. Like when you're this low, that's absolutely fine. The thing is, I think this was all a ploy. Like with the Rolling Thunder in play, they want to try and fight towards this A side, but Liquid have actually been able to take some deep control. They're not even going to use it to fight towards the site. They're just trying to fight long. And Solkes is still managing to win these duels. He's got Xtreem to back him up as well.
Tiba-tiba rapi gitu mereka aimingnya. Jumpy nih,
Jumpy jangan gerak, Jumpy.
Just stay put. Jumpy diam aja. Iya. Lo kalaupun di check corner lo dapet timing duluan ngelihat kok. Yuk, Jumpy yuk.
Dari long nge-pick. Dari set.
Ya Jumpy ngapain nge-pick? Jumpy lu lead. Aduh.
Tatar gua pecut.
Yeah, but it's also just the Liquid actually want to go fighting for this. They do have a little bit.
Oh iya, agentnya sama persis ya, baru sadar gue. Pilihan agentnya sama persis anjir.
You kind of just want to make sure your own finances.
Enggak dong.
Iya
sama persis.
Have to fight a huge amount of rounds in a row. You know, eventually they're going to end up with their ults online and eventually with guns in their hands again. So risking your own economy for that really not worth it at this stage. Maybe if they have a couple more rounds like this, they'll be a little bit happier. But Solkes does incredibly well. Like that's the thing. The push and pull of what Liquid did in this round was great. Like he just.
Ini hoki banget itu. Itu hoki banget, sama-sama ke stun.
Let's just fight them before they can do it. They even use it on him. He still gets kills.
Yeah, it was the C's going down just in time.
Pertama nggak, Bang Devin jam segini belum. Iya anjing, pertama kali gue streaming sampai jam 1:30. Riot, pengorbanan buat kamu Riot. Nontonin turni tuh bikin pengen comeback anjing. Res gue kasih Son comeback Son.
Comeback lah Son. Masa enggak? Anton juga mau comeback katanya.
Iya.
Dia mau belajar ngecek corner juga. Tadi udah dianalis nih game ini nih. Besok Anton install Valorant langsung digas nih ranked.
Setiap corner di des gue cek aja.
Setiap corner dicek sama dia.
I just want to nullify Ono. Like I don't care about their age.
Besok Ton lu mesti nonton besok Ton.
Let's stop him from talking. Stop giving them because if they ran this round now, it's almost just gonna look like the man has superpowers.
Lu harus menganalisis sih. Itu tiap matchnya.
Opponents' minds and coming through.
Mereka butuh coach Anton.
What Leviathan have cooked up, but just a glance at the mini-map might give it away.
Timnya Anton namanya Corner Esports. Always check corners gitu motonya.
Or the big brains.
Yes, this is clearly an
menang
push
sini,
coming out of Leviathan.
menang senjata loh.
Belum tentu bang.
Tapi harus.
Itu ada AWP satu, Takoela AWP-nya ngeri bos.
He just gives his gun away.
Kuliah. Udah kelar.
And he's got the kill, but then he goes down. The trade's a little late to come in, and it's set up on Xtreem. Great kill. And now the Bears there. The brothers lock it down. They're back in this game. Just 3 away, and Leviathan's money.
Wangi banget mulutnya Anton, Cok.
Wangi.
They're coming in with a buy. The last round.
This is it. This is it. You're tied up if you lose this one.
Udah.
I think they're still in an okay position.
Ini nih,
Like,
ini nih,
you're
momentum
at a
ini nih.
point where
Wah,
realistically, okay,
Xtreem
right now
is back,
Xtreem
boy.
managed to do quite a bit of damage. They've been slaughtered,
Xtreem
but it was
is
a round
back.
where it was a showstopper, couple of save guns, and then there was like a stinger and some other stuff.
Waduh, Jason Statham
Completely mowed
marah
down.
nih Jason Statham nih.
Now I'm gonna look at Leviathan and see if this actually shakes them, because they're coming in with a buy.
Jar mati.
By Scream. I've seen him do this so many times. I get flashbacks. Actually, I'm not gonna say it just because of the country we're in.
Kalau kayak gitu si Takolila dapat info Scream nggak sih? Enggak ya?
Enggak kedetek. Ah, itu baru
kedetek tuh.
Spot him in the retreat. It's not gonna be easy, but no, he gets away with it.
Tele.
Drop off heard by Yumpy.
Shit,
Now if
Yumpy.
a player drops off that spot, they see no contact after. Now they're starting to be a little bit of presence on the A side.
Kanan. Nggak ada. Jampi.
Clear out these corners.
Dia bakal menyerah. Cek corner pin, tiap corner dicek.
Benar.
Towards the A side.
Wih, benar ngikutin coach banget deh.
Lu jangan lupa cek corner gitu. Anton udah marah nih.
Headset lu kencengin lah.
Look at where the rest of the 4 players currently in A link. They're almost just waiting for those rotations. Like if they go towards C, okay, even if they play through garage,
mereka pasti main gini max kali ya soundnya.
You have 4
Nggak lah,
players
anjing
then
conge
within 5
goblok
seconds. If they go towards A, the exact same thing. They have so much denial.
Tapi itu mereka double itu.
Iya, mereka double. Satu buat
Kayaknya
enggak tahu. Enggak Jo, itu enggak double Jo.
Enggak. Ada Vin, ada yang
di dalam ada lagi.
Airbud terus ditutup earphone.
That's
huge.
huge. Absolutely.
Beneran suara ya.
He's under so much pressure. They
Full
play
ini
heavy.
semuanya.
So as soon as he gets that pressure, he's calling for it. He needs
Ayo,
the help.
ayo
15 seconds left. Paranoia has gone through. Nade
Mati.
is on its way.
Mati. Jar, oh TP, sempet TP dia.
Now leaving them a little bit more space to play with a showstopper just popped through.
Oke, 42.
Leviathan back against the wall. They're pushed off
Scream
the side.
ulti. Oh, mereka saving. Udah menang. Gila.
Gitu. Teamwork dong.
Bahasanya ngeribet bro.
Kalian tuh harus punya chemistry dong dalam satu tim.
Keren coach.
This though is a nice touch. Like just having Yumpy waiting behind.
Let's go. Nah, itu semangatin. Ayo, kamu ini leader gimana sih?
Botak pusing.
He's just gone. Pause didn't work. What's never happened before?
Oh, berani banget. Gile bro.
Jadi pengen main lagi nggak sih Vin?
Gua memang masih main, Son.
Kapan itu kan Alison main juga.
Waktu sabeton dia main,
Iya.
Bang Scream aja main lagi, Son, masa lu enggak?
Kenapa?
Bang Scream aja main Valorant, masa lu enggak?
No.
Nggak dapat.
Masuk tim mana sih tuh?
Tim Liquid. Lu pilak gua lihat tuh.
Enggak, gua radang.
Kalau lu zoom.
Banyakan ngomong, suara hilang, jadi radang.
Ini dapat nih, 2 headshot nih. Aduh, miss. Kurang turun nih.
And instead, they've spotted the last 2 players. They've got all the information they could possibly want, and still a ton of utility to play with. This is a situation for Team Liquid that is
kalian lagi momen nih.
I almost want them to
2v4 sulit sih. Mereka pasti saving. Wah, jangan baris. Aduh, jangan slow pick. Kenapa slow pick kayak gitu? Aduh.
Yeah, that's what I meant. They've got so much to buy that it doesn't matter.
Gua baru mau bilang kalau ini apa? Si Leviathan kalah match yang tadi. Udah, mereka harus benar-benar
That's the real
recall.
issue. 4 rounds in a row at least has made this one look a little bit more competitive, but
Ayo dong, menangin dong, anjing udah mau jam 2 nih, ngantuk gua.
TO nggak sih? TO nggak sih? Respect streamer.
Tai, respect streamer.
Even when like it was Xtreem and Navira spraying them down, you're like, well, if you don't get 3 kills and 2 kills apiece, that could have easily gone the other way.
Waduh, berani banget nih.
He's going for it again. They're expecting it. He's
Trading.
so wide
Gila.
out of that corner.
Sama-sama sniper.
He doesn't get away clean.
Enggak ya, itu AK. Sebelumnya sama AK. Sama-sama kena. Udah ketahuan dong.
Itu baru pro player anjing.
Lo kabur kan lo, takut kan lo.
Lu lihat bomnya diberdiriin tuh, biar nggak bisa diambil tuh. Jadi dia berdiri di atas bomnya.
Iya, dia tahu mau ulti soalnya.
Yeah, the tough thing here is actually not even getting
bisa nggak dikasih.
Getting to the site to be able to
Solkas, nengok belakang Solkas.
He almost spotted Solkas. That was the only way that I think this actually goes in his direction. Instead,
dia masuk site.
Nggak bisa dijagain. Nggak bisa. Ambil cuy.
Actually, the realization might not be there.
Of course, why? Because he wouldn't be on B, he'd be on A.
Kok bisa keambil?
And he's got such good timing then to swing on.
Wah, mantap abang Xtreem.
So careful in that moment. They had a gap which
bisa keambil.
right? That's the only way
Hot-hotnya nih Xtreem nih. Udah panas nih.
And they just left it. Even after he TPs, it could very well be on A. It's like, well, so what? Well, 1v3 retake when it's planted.
Like, Demasic gets picked up. Like, they know exactly.
Emang itu tadi ngapain sih yang bom itu?
Jadi dia kalau diberdiriin di atas bom, orang berdiri nih, omennya ulti, itu nggak bisa keambil bomnya, spike-nya.
He has to be around this area, but you just don't expect him to swing through his own smoke.
Kan ultinya Omen itu kan
teleport.
Kalau ditembak nggak jadi kan, dia bisa cancel ulti, dia balik ke tempat dia seawal, mau ngambil bom doang. Tapi harusnya tadi tuh nggak bisa, soalnya dia berdiri di atas bomnya persis.
Tapi lu tau nggak, pas Omen masih TP jadi bayangan bisa di heal Sage.
Emang iya?
Iya.
Jadi kalau minta heal jauh pakai ulti itu. Wah,
kan kesalahan dia, bagus.
Waduh, dia shoot through the smoke.
I say that both King and Averto have been hit down incredibly low on HP.
Kalau ngambil pakai ulti Omen nggak bisa di cancel. Bisa dong, ulti Omen bisa di cancel. Dia bisa nggak cancel. Mati nih. Tuh kan. Always check corner.
Kebiasaan nggak cek corner.
Always check corner. Ente. Nggak bisa sih. Udah post plan ini mereka. Nih kan, dari keluar smoke mati. Tuh kan. Udah post plan itu udah nggak bisa. Nengok mati nih. 3, 2, 1. Dapet dia.
Bener Vin, mati Vin.
Iya bener, lawannya mati. Ayo, headshot ting ding. Ente.
Coach gimana nih coach?
Nah nih coach 1 poin lagi menang coach.
Biarin aja lah. Apa peduli lagi saya keluar ini.
Jangan coach, masih ada map 2-3 coach, senang.
Some of these battles that he's winning, like facing 1v1
Aduh.
versus Xtreem and just
Xtreem
entering into the
capek.
site, that's not normally a way you can... Okay,
Enggak sih, ini mereka Iko bukan sih? TL Iko ya? Oh enggak, last abis ini ya. Mereka udah hitung biar nggak Iko.
Tetap menyerah, jangan semangat, tetap jadi beban keluarga.
Dapet. Anjir. GG dah. Wah, GG udah. GG bro.
Ini nih, mental takut.
3-2 ini.
Mental.
Wah, 3-1 dah. GG bos.
Epek.
Lu pegang Liquid emang Tan?
Nggak, dia mah emang yang dia tahu tim Liquid doang. Wah, hoki banget dilindungin smoke musuh.
An opportunity here in the 1v2. They've still got a haunt to work with. The smoke to fade. Attempt the challenge. There's the haunt. It's bounced off the wall. It didn't go all the way to spawn. He's able to sneak up a little.
Bisa tuh lewat belakang, kanan.
Otherwise, now is the first found, and now only one.
Let's go.
Gue balik lagi deh ke kos.
They're going to be kicking themselves if they end up in OT. Still 2 chances to close.
Dimarahin dulu anjing.
Wow.
Coachnya anjing ini coach ini.
The player you want in these sort of scenarios, a lot of the time is going to be someone like Navera, but I feel like there's so many times in these Red Bull clutch moments where young people just pull something out of absolutely nothing, and there is minute split-second details that make the difference here. One, as you said, is that smoke. He is dead. Like, he even pulls out his head onto knowing that he basically has to land a couple of instant headshots, and then just manages to pull off the 1 versus 2. Liquid have held on.
Gila, mental pro player beda guys. Oh, Leviathan Eco bro, half buy. Harus. Kalau nggak mereka overtime.
Harusnya pede aja sih, udah 12 mereka.
Mereka nggak mau OT.
Masih gampang itu, Jo.
Ampun coach ya, coach.
Put through. Who knows? There's
danger. Dimarahin coach yang hampir menyerah adik-adik.
Time you want to be making a mistake. Your own map choice. Next thing as said, like Liquid are probably looking at this map pool going, hey, we got a pocket pick and we got probably our best map, maybe other than Icebox.
Look at Navera as well. If he gets 1 orb in this round and dies, if he gets a kill and dies, is anything like that, you have a
Stream 3 game kagak anjing, abis ini gue tidur. Gila loh, suruh gue streaming.
Iya katanya.
3 game. Ini aja gue udah di chat mak gue. Udah jam berapa nih? Kok belum tidur? Udah diancam gue. Wah, gak kena. GG. Terlalu rendah. GG bro. Nah bro, GG bro. 2v3 bro.
Nggak bisa ini udah kanan kiri.
Aduh, gak di backup.
Let's go bro, let's go.
Main game. Kanan. Dah, GG bro.
Saya resign.
An absolutely phenomenal performance from this team.
Aduh, kalah Iko cu, TL cu.
He's on 0 kills. Yumpy, 0 kills. They showed up in the second half. Team Liquid played this game as I expected them to. And Leviathan have come in and asserted their dominance immediately in this series. I mean, what a fantastic debut at Champions. And now, the next map up is theirs. Ascent, their choice, their home ground. Find to close out if Liquid can push them that far.
Udah guys, udahan dulu guys.
Oke guys.
Besok guys, jam 7 guys, let's go guys.
Maybe your chamber is like a superstar, and don't get me wrong, Taco is a superstar. He just doesn't need to do the same stuff maybe Yumpy does on the other side. He doesn't need to take incredible risks, open multiple frags, and pull off 1v3 clutches because he has a really solid team behind him. Elsa, incredible map from him, King, 6 first.
Masih mikir-mikir gua.
GG. Gila Leviathan sih ganas, aimingnya ganas banget. Besok jam 7 apa?
Akhir
Besok
main kena
watch
mental.
party lagi jam 7 lagi kita.
Emang
nonton
game Valorant kan bayarannya mental.
Udah ya, go off dulu. Thank you semuanya yang udah nonton. Jangan lupa kasih like, share, subscribe buat yang belum, buat yang udah thank you. I'll see you guys again tomorrow ya. Have a good night, have a good day, have a good sleep. Stay safe, healthy, and stay at home. Love your definition. Cheers guys and bye bye. Thank you semuanya. Peace out.